Greetings, everybody.
Hey.
My name is Christopher Bedell, and I am the GM of this game. And around me are these fantastic people who you can now see on the screen. That's exciting. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good. Excellent. Just because we don't yet have an official intro, but we will soon. Let's go ahead and go around and introduce yourself, say who you are as a person, and then stop talking about that boring stuff and talk about the exciting part of who your hero is and what their name is and what they do. Let's start with whoever Trevor puts up on the screen. It's Adam.
Hey, I'm Adam. I'm the artist for Sentinel Comics, and I am playing Starblight, Sam Roberts, who was lost in space and took up a strange sword and has some cool spacey powers.
Yeah.
Hi, I am Saray. I'm the graphic designer here at Greater Than Games. I am playing as Stella Nova, who is this alluring, mystical woman who appeared out of the stars and is traveling around with Starblight.
Alluring. Hi. Hi, I'm Maggie Clayton. I'm the marketing manager for Greater Than Games, and I'm playing as Beatrix Drakes, also known as Violet Hart. She is this undead person thing, and
Wow.
she doesn't know what she is. I don't know what she is. She uses glamour to make herself look as beautiful as she does on that screen, and she carries a dagger that continuously drips blood called Zesty Blood.
She's a real charmer.
She is. She's adorable.
Hi, I am Craig McRoberts. I am the community overlord for Greater Than Games. I am playing a hero named Dynamo, also known as Benjamin Biltmore. He is a steel and brass powered suit wearing time traveling hero. He does a lot of electricity and punchy things. He's also a big defender.
Biltmore what?
Suits.
Biltmore suits. All right, there we go. Excellent. And last time here on Sentinel Comics Live, you guys, you met each other. You two had already known each other, and you two had already known each other, but you two came back down from space to Earth. Was it your first time visiting Earth ever? You'd never been to Earth before, right?
I've never been to Earth.
Right, and it was your first time back at Earth
while.
in a long time.
Yeah.
So you guys came down to Earth because of this terrible thing that was happening, and the two of you were there also investigating the terrible thing. And in fact, we can look at
Show
some
what that was.
sweet art. If I can turn my, yeah, there we go. Boom. Sweet art.
So sweet.
Sweet art. There we go. Oh, very cool. Have you encountered this glowing thing? What is this? Anybody want to tell me what this is?
It's an egg.
Yeah,
It's an egg. It's an egg. And then out of the egg came a little friend, a little cute friend.
Adorable.
And once it was able to stretch its wings enough and fully manifest some lasers,
Which of us does it think is his mom?
none of you.
I'm pretty sure. Yes, it was
Also,
you.
they eat their mothers.
Better question: which one of you was consumed by the dragon?
me.
That would be you.
That was
Yeah.
us,
yeah.
This is good.
Yeah.
Who wants to tell me anything they remember about this scene?
I had to lift its jaw open to escape.
Yeah.
That I was actually consumed.
Yeah.
But we're not just joking about it.
Right. You
We
gotta-
are joking about it, but it was also true.
We're not just joking.
Right.
Right.
But yeah, so I almost died from that.
That's true. And what did other people do in this scene? What was going on?
There was a magical force field around containing the laser dragon, and so Stella and Violet took down the force field together.
Sigils.
Yeah. So we went in and we took down some runes. I guess
Some
is the way to put it.
sigils?
Yeah, some sigils. With the help of Dynamo. I'm sorry. I forgot. I guess he was there too. Whatever.
I guess I took out one of them.
Okay, one.
There were 3 of them.
Okay. But yeah, so we can sense that there's some magical stuff going on. So once the laser dragon, once the laser dragon took off, we were kind of gonna go investigate the magic stuff.
Sure. Where'd the laser dragon go? Did it go to?
Went up.
And
Straight
up?
up. Went up. Straight up.
Straight up.
Yep.
It's just gone.
Okay, probably not a problem then. Good.
It won't come back.
Yeah, exactly. Ray knows what's going
Stella
on.
says that it's not coming back, then I believe Stella.
yeah,
yes.
of course.
Laser
She knows all.
dragons do is leave the nest and they never return.
Right.
Yeah, as we all know.
Everything's fine. Everything's
They
fine.
don't need to eat.
Right.
Very good, very good. Let's see.
And then we went to Mexico City to
just outside Mexico City.
to investigate what was going on there because we had some readings coming from that.
And what did you find there?
Found that it's pretty wrecked from the events of Oblivion, and then also there was a skyscraper that had some.
Did it look like
glowy
that?
Stuff. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah, glowy runes up and down that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember specifically that this is terrestrial magic. Like this is not like cosmic power. This is something that has its basis here on Earth.
There you go. I made it bigger.
Ah, yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's where we're at.
Oh, and Sam was like real hurt, but was healing up a little bit.
I healed a little bit.
yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Not great.
I held my steamy arm up against you and cauterized your wounds.
Yeah. Well, and then I breathed the steam in.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cleansing. Yeah.
Just throw some water on me. I'm a walking sauna.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good, excellent. So, where you left off is where we'll pick up. You were here in. Before I get started, actually, I wanted to say we introduced ourselves, and I introduced myself at the beginning. We have one person that has not yet been introduced, and that is Chris, who I'm pointing to, and you guys can all see, but nobody on the stream can see Chris because he's invisible. But it's great to have invisible Chris with us today. Chris is our recently hired play testing manager and game developer guy. But today he wears a different hat as he talks to people in the chat. So when you see Greater Than Games talking in the chat, it is Chris, and he's great, and treat him with the kindness and respect that he deserves, not with the way that you would treat one of us.
Yeah. That's very accurate.
Yeah, right. But right, so if you've got questions, he'll be happy to answer those, and then at the end of the session, like we did last time, I am definitely up for taking some Q's and A's from the chat. Both questions for me, but also questions for the players and all that stuff.
Cool.
And we probably have, if I had to guess, I would guess that we also probably have Dave in the chat as well. Dave T Game, if he's there, is he's the lead designer of the Sentinel Comics role-playing game system, and anything that he says is definitely how it works. So if he contradicts a thing that I'm doing here at the table, you can trust him. And you can not trust me. But
As well now.
I'm the GM, so what I say goes. Hey. Anyway. So, you're here at this tower.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Before we go into the tower, we have some hero points from last time.
That's true. That's true. Thank you for bringing that up. Last time at the end of the session, we talked about collected trades. So remember, you do have your collected trades. They are refreshed for this session if they had been used last session. And you have, those can be checked off once per session to either maximize a die in a die pool or to create a bit of fiction in the canon of what's going on in the story to add something to the scene that wasn't there before to take advantage of. And you and I will talk about that whenever you invoke that. Great. The other thing is you've got these hero points. You each, I believe, have 3 hero points for last time. And you can spend those as you will now. And you don't, at the point of spending those now to put into bonuses, you don't have to invoke those bonuses now or tell me even what they are. You just have to decide right now if you're going to give yourself 3 +1s or a +1 and a +2 or a single +3. And
I'm going to give myself 1 + 3.
So Adam's grabbing a +3 bonus to bring up at some point here. And with that in general, like you can pull it from the scene, but another good way to do it is like, oh, because of the thing that happened last issue, this is, I'm hearkening back to this thing that I learned last issue or this thing that happened to me and invoking that bonus for that.
And that just goes for 1 roll.
Yeah, it's just a single one-time bonus.
Okay.
So.
Great.
The other thing we might want to talk about is the fact that people can cheer on different heroes.
Yeah, but we don't have a system set up for that, so we're not going to talk about it.
Okay.
We're going to start. There is a cheer system that is set up in Twitch where you can like cheer and things happen, but we're going to start using that as a system that has like rules and parameters next session, which is not next week. Next week we are taking a week off, and in that week off, Paul and I will still do our GM prep and kind of talk about what's been going on so far to position the next few. But we'll start doing the cheer system the time after that, because right now we don't have a plan of like, this is what you get out of those things. And I want to have a plan with rules that we know what you're doing, and also you, the people that are interacting in Twitch, know what you're doing there. So that is the situation there.
Cool. Right.
All right. Good points all around. Any other questions, comments, thoughts, suggestions, or can we get right down to it?
I think we're good.
All right. So I then pass it to you guys. You guys are here in this small destroyed industrial sector on the outskirts of Mexico City. Everything looks real bad, and there's this tower, and there's this raging storm that is focused on the tower. This morning when we were here in the office, it was raining hard enough outside you could hear it through the walls, and there was thunder, and I'm like, man, I hope this keeps going this afternoon. And it seems to have died down, but it'll come back because I will it. But anyway, so we've got this raging storm centered on this tower, and like where you landed the plane far enough back, it's like you're outside the storm. It doesn't really affect you, but there is this hard driving rain and winds all around this tower, and the tower itself looks in really bad shape. Even without the storm or without the arcane energy coursing through it, but it also has those things. Yeah. What would you like to do? You guys you have free reign here. You are autonomous.
Okay.
I want to wall crawl up there and take a look.
Now it is like if you look at the tower, you can see it is many stories tall. Yeah, so and you can't necessarily wall crawl that much faster than you can walk/run. So it would take you a while to get up there, but you could do it. You could approach the building from the outside of it, certainly.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried that if we just go up to the building, something will happen to us.
Okay. Yeah.
That we'll get zapped or something.
I will.
There's thunder.
Wow.
That's creepy.
That is kind of creepy.
Do not doubt me, Adam.
I'm really creeped out right now. Can I see inside any of the windows from where if I fly up at all?
So as you fly up and approach it, the windows all seem like you could see through them, but as you get closer, the arcane sigils that are on the outside of the building seem to flash and cloak the entire building, where you can still see it, but you can't see through the windows. The windows all seem to be clouded with this arcane energy. So the sigils definitely react to people approaching them in certain ways.
Okay.
So about how far out from this are we currently?
A couple blocks.
Okay.
And you can, from where you are, you can see that the ground level entrance of this has a bunch of doors of different types, and all of them are broken open. Like you could just walk in there. There doesn't seem to be anything stopping somebody from entering.
Okay. Well, I land back next to everybody, and I say, all right, I can't see in there, and I've had a bad experience with just hitting things last week. Yeah. I mean, a few minutes ago. So I don't want to do anything to these sigils until we find out more about them.
I think I want to walk up and try and touch it, because before the magic, the barrier didn't stop anybody, right? Because of the type of barrier it was.
So you want to just walk up and touch the building?
Yeah, I guess I want to try and walk through the door. I mean, I don't know what we're going to be able to figure out from the ground level unless we can do some research or something. Or if there's some stuff that I already know because of my magicalness.
Sure. No, as you walk up to the building, you can feel the magic that is roiling in this building, and you feel it in a way that's like, oh, this is familiar to you. It seems like these are the same. They're not the exact same sigils from before, but they're very similar. They're presumably made by the same people, or at least built on the same energy, and but they have very different purposes. Those sigils were ones of creating a bubble to trap something in a place, or to contain something, and these sigils here are other types of things. They're sigils of warding, sigils of protection, sigils of stabilization. This building looks rough. It is not just the ceiling of this building that's caving in. Everything of this building is caving in, and you get a feeling that these sigils are in part keeping the building up.
Okay.
But at the same time, you can walk right up to it, and you're like, oh, these sigils, they are aware of your presence and don't care. You could just walk right into them, no big deal. You could walk right into the building. Nothing would stop you.
Do you recognize any of them from your, culty days?
Well, yeah, we did establish that I have a history with some of this. Some of these sigils. Could I potentially make a roll to see if I recognize anything specific, or maybe recognize their origins or anything like that?
So anything that you know, anything you recognize from it, you recognize what you recognize. Anything you're like, oh, I recognize that these are arcane writings and things like that. Anything you recognize is a mere fraction of the stuff that I just told Maggie. The stuff that she just intrinsically knows about it. You're like, oh yeah, I get hints of that as well, but she feels it in a way. And also Stella Nova, you'd also be able to feel that oh, this is the sort of magic that's going on in this building. Great. You just know that. You know that there are ones of warding, of protection, of concealment, that you don't let people look in, of keeping the building standing. Like that's what's going on with these sigils.
Okay.
And you're aware of those things.
Yeah, I think we just need to go in.
Just yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other option.
I mean, there's lots of options.
No,
Just like,
one option.
We're gonna let's go to London and have meat pies instead of doing this. Just leave.
I don't like meat pies.
Oh.
We're going in.
What?
What?
You all know this. We went to the UK together and I ate no meat pie.
I wasn't there.
You
for
weren't
that.
there. That's fair.
I went separately.
That doesn't
Weird.
sound appetizing.
See?
They're delicious.
They are delicious.
So before we go in, this rickety building is making me super nervous in my giant heavy metal suit.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. And like you come from an era in which buildings were built a lot more solidly. This is a more modern sort of skyscraper that it's totally.
Yeah.
It is actually structurally when the construction style that has been used to make it is structurally sound. But to your sort of building aesthetic, you're like, no. You need way more reinforcements. You can't expect steel to be able to support a structure like this. You've got to have giant pillars and stuff.
Right.
It doesn't have any of that.
So what I'm gonna do
Yeah.
is I'm gonna try to create some sort of creating a boost in this situation possibly.
It depends on what you want to do with it.
What I want to do
Yeah.
is like try to lighten my load, like basically make an ionic barrier or like send an ionic barrier around through my suit and out of my suit so that it lightens my impact on the environment around me.
Sure. Here's what I'll have you do. I want you to roll an overcome for this.
Okay.
And the effect of it will be that it will just operate throughout the scene, if you succeed, that your suit will not be as damaging to this environment as it would have otherwise.
Okay, that is good to know.
All right.
So I'm going to use my power suit.
Sure, you're
obviously.
modifying your power suit in some way, yeah.
And technology makes the most sense here.
That's great.
And my status is also a D10.
Sure, great.
Currently.
Everything's
So-
great.
Let's see what I got. Well, that is less
Oh,
than
wow.
ideal.
Wow. Wow. So your suit weighs the amount that your suit weighs.
Yeah.
And like, I would say if you wanted to succeed with a major twist, you could, but it would probably be worse than just saying, you know what? My suit weighs the amount it weighs, and I'm just going to walk on cross beams.
I'm going to deal with things as they come up.
Yeah. Because there's no penalty to failure here.
Right.
Like that you were attempting, and the answer is no. You rolled a 1, a 4, and a 1. Your mid die is a 1. You could succeed at a major twist, and I'm happy to give you a major twist in trade for your suit weighs a bit less.
Can we not have a major twist on the very first roll of the session?
The power is yours.
Let's not start things that way.
Yeah. So nope. I'm just like. No.
And you realize anything that you did to like lighten your suit, the suit still weighs the amount that it weighs. You can't like send some of the weight of the suit to another dimension.
Right.
That doesn't work.
Sure.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
So what are we doing? What are we doing?
I guess we approach with trepidation. Like walk into the front door of this place.
I will happily go first.
Okay.
That is, I am a go first kind of guy.
I'll kind of like hover in behind.
So you walk in, and the ground level of this doesn't have this doesn't have any sort of underground levels. The ground level of this is just slab concrete.
Slab.
So like, and we say you're walking in the front door. You're walking to the front doorway. Everything of this first level is just like bombed out from this building, and it's just you can see from one end of the building to the other end of the building and out to the street beyond. That everything is just open and like it's fine. So like you're looking at this big just kind of courtyard of destruction. You could see there's in a few different places in the building, there's a couple of different spiral staircases, or like heavy concrete staircases that are built into the building. There's some elevator shafts for freight elevators, and everything's there for you to look at.
Okay. Well, I think the best way of doing this will be for one of us to fly up the elevator shaft and check out which floor something's going on instead of checking floor by floor. That's going to get tedious.
As much as I would love to be able to help with that, I cannot fly.
I also
I can teleport. Would I be able to teleport everyone?
So if when you are teleporting to a place you've never been, I feel like there's some risk of like teleporting people like into a solid wall or something. Like how are you able to teleport into a place that you've never been and you don't know what it looks like and you can't see it?
Well, I have the knowledge of things to come. I have visions, so
you could make some pretty like educated guesses, and probably nobody would end up phased halfway through a wall.
Teleporting and know whether or not it's going to be
right. Yeah,
bad.
I can do that.
Okay. All right. So yeah, if you wanted to, you could teleport yourselves. Where do you want to teleport yourself and your team?
Do we want to go straight to the top to see?
Do we want to have
I
Adam
can
fly?
I can fly
and
one
check?
of you up also, but like.
Do you want to do like some reconnaissance?
Yeah. I can do that.
Splitting the party's always a good plan, right?
Yeah. If you're going to do that, I would like to do some investigation, perhaps, to see if there's been any like human activity down here,
Okay.
like recently, or if this is something that's like been done and then they've left it behind.
No, you can tell this is like an actively used place. There's
Okay.
a lot of there's like old rubbish and new rubbish, and a lot of this doesn't seem like there's not a fine layer of dust over everything. There is a layer of dust over everything, that dust has lots of footprints in it, and it seems like tons of people have been in and around this area. This was a very populated area up until fairly recently, and there's still the dregs of people going through here.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go into the elevator shafts and just fly up it, and I'm going to do a roll for this reconnaissance because I'm doing an overcome. I'm going to use flight.
Okay.
And I'm going to use finesse to try and conceal myself.
Okay, so
I'm going up cautiously.
Right. My question here is like, what are you overcoming? And your point is, you want to fly into an elevator shaft and fly up without anyone noticing you.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
I'm going to pause before each floor, make
Yep.
sure that it's clear,
Sure.
and take it easy on my way up there. So finesse, and then my status die is an E6.
Sure.
Looks like my mid is a 3.
A 3. So you can succeed with a major twist, or you can fail.
I mean, it's the second roll now, so maybe.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it's safe.
Yeah. as we all know.
Well, I don't know what I'm failing here. Also,
Elevator
You're
crashes
looking.
am I
into you.
failing looking, or am I failing concealment? All right, yeah, I'll fail. Let's see what happens.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
You fly into the elevator shaft, and you're like, okay, I'm going to fly up, and you make it up one floor,
Yeah.
And two things happen.
Okay.
Rocks fall and you die. No.
Oh no!
Two things.
The elevator comes down.
Two things happen. One, you can't go up any higher. Sitting at the second floor is the elevator itself that takes up the whole thing. And beyond that, like you get up to it and you're like, oh, this elevator is completely decommissioned and destroyed, but it's wedged in. It clearly fell down from a higher level and wedged itself in at an angle. So this elevator shaft is not one you can fly up. However, that's only one of the two things that happen. The other one is that as you get up higher than the ground level, you get up a little bit higher than ground level, and as you're up a little bit higher than ground level, you start hearing chanting. And this isn't chanting coming from very far away. This chanting feels like it's emanating from the walls of the building itself.
Oh.
And it sounds like Oni ma ni ma na tus.
That was only one. I need multiple chances. There was no.
That's the one that hears.
So they're just doing it over and over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
I come back down.
So-
You guys aren't gonna believe what. This is weird. The building's chanting up there. I can't get up too high. There's an elevator in the way, but if you get up, the building's making some chants, and I find.
And there
that
are
strange.
other elevator shafts as well. There's 4 elevator shafts in this building.
Just to be sure, I look at you specifically, Biohart. This is not a thing that buildings normally do now, right?
No.
Okay.
You're all right. It looks weird, but they shouldn't do that.
Okay.
I repeat what the chant is.
Yeah.
Oni mani mani tus.
Pretty close.
Is that
Demon burst from
right?
my chest.
I repeat what it is, sir. I'm like, I don't know if you know anything about this magic-y person.
So you think that both of you hear the syllables that he repeats, and you're like, that pronunciation is very bad, but in a way that's like, oh no, like that pronunciation is very bad, not just in a Adam pronounced it poorly, but whatever Sam heard was probably pronounced poorly. It was like, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So
it's
we
high
got some teeny boppers trying to summon demons.
I don't know that I would call them teeny boppers.
Teeny boppers.
Those dark
Listen.
kids and they're summoning demons.
You said there were other elevator shafts?
Oh yeah.
I think I can wall crawl up and
That sounds
investigate.
great.
I really want to
There
do
you
it,
go.
guys.
So tell me, build a die pool for me, but Adam's goal here was twofold: reconnaissance and stealth, making sure that nobody saw him or interacted with him. What is your goal here?
It's this. I would say it's similar. I guess I don't care maybe if they see me so much, but I want to know what we're looking at here, because obviously we know now there is someone here doing this thing, but we don't. I want to know: are they teeny boppers? Are they what's going on? Okay.
I can't tell you.
So I'm gonna. Okay, wall crawling and investigation.
Sure. So you care less about stealth.
Oh wait, I grabbed the wrong. I need another. Yes, I care less about stealth.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just trying to learn what you're going to learn. That's
Yeah.
right. That's great. Oh my goodness, the first non-failing roll of the day. I'm so proud of you all. So you rolled a 4, a 6, and an 8, so 6 is your mid, and on a 6, it's a result of 4 through 7, which means you succeed, but with a minor twist.
Okay.
Do you happen to have a minor twist? Because if not, we are in a fully built environment that Paul and I created this morning on the live stream, which means there are environmental twists. It also means I'm about to introduce a thing.
So, how do I speak people is one of my options for a minor twist, which means I am not even though I've lived around people for a long time, I'm still just not quite sure how to do it right.
Yeah.
And then the other one is what is literally and or figuratively coming back to haunt you. So I've done creepy things before. Maybe there's something that I recognize, something that I'm like, oh no, it's this guy. So I can pick?
I don't really think that the creepy things that are coming back to haunt you is applicable here specifically. And
I'm crawling up walls. I feel like that kind of eliminates the how do I speak people. These people are also chanting and obviously into.
yeah, I'm just gonna.
I think environmental twist makes most sense.
That's great, and that makes perfect sense to me because what happens is this is gonna kick off some exciting stuff that I know you're thrilled to see.
More sigils.
You are heading up this elevator shaft, crawling in a creepy, herky-jerky way that is uncomfortable for everyone to look at. No one likes it, and that's how we all feel about it. Nope, not even you. And so various things are going to happen. First off, we're going to go ahead and enter into the scene of this arcane tower you're in. We're going to put up a scene tracker for this, because now that we're fully engaged, things are working and things are happening, we're going to start with the initiative order, and we're all going to take part in different ways here. The other thing that's going to happen is as you are crawling up, as you're going up, start hearing the same chanting, the Oni Mani Man Na Tus chanting, and you're like, man, what? I'm not sure what they're trying to do, but I get the feeling that whoever's doing this, they're not sure what they're trying to do either. And as you're going up, you pass by a sigil in the wall of the elevator shaft, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go around that, avoid that. But as you get near it, 2 sigil wisps pop out. You recognize these guys, and they are there, and they just kind of look at you, and they're like, what are you doing? But they don't say that. You just get this feeling that they're like, what are you doing? And they're there.
Okay.
And they're there.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it is the end of your action, and you have you make it up several floors.
Yeah.
You may, this building has 20 something floors,
Okay.
and you make it up easily 7 or 8 of these floors before being halted by the sigil wisp. I'm not sure that I want to tangle with these guys. And you can tell that the chanting, the thing that you learn is that whoever is here doing stuff is much higher up, for one. And for two, the chanting that it seems like it's coming out of the walls, that Adam heard coming out of the walls, isn't coming out of the walls. It's coming out of every sigil. That every sigil on the wall is like a speaker, that wherever the chanting is happening, it's being amplified by every single one of these sigils.
Okay.
All right.
That makes more sense.
Does Stella Nova still have tracks on all of us, or did she only put the track on Craig, right?
She has a mental leash
Yeah.
on Craig.
Yeah.
It's nothing that's super well defined. It's not like a track,
Yeah. I just mean
A
to.
connection.
Yeah.
I mean to say I don't want to pass the scene to the sigils.
You can pass it to the arcane tower. You can pass it to the sigil wisps. You can pass it to any of these 3 people.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna pass it to Stella, but I thought perhaps Stella could know what I was feeling. But
because I'm still on the ground, right?
You're still on the ground level, yeah.
I'm gonna pass it to Stella.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe I can use my teleportation to go past the sigils. Will they won't see me or sense me, will they?
So the sigils, you feel like you are already well sensed by this tower. This tower has sigils all over it, on the outside, on the inside, everywhere, and they are all over. The sigils know of all 4 of your presence. Beyond that, like when you say teleport past the sigils, like if we look at the art, if we bring the art back up on the full screen, and I zoom in a little bit, the sigils cover every inch of the building. You can kind of see them there. Yeah. And also, there's a giant sigil in the sky above the top of the building. So for you to teleport past the sigils, you're talking about 30 feet in the air above the top of the building. There is no space in this building that is not warded.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you could teleport up to a higher floor, like say where Violet Heart is, or you could teleport further than that or less than that. But you're taking a risk whenever you teleport into some place that you don't specifically know what's there.
Yeah. I'm going to teleport past her.
Sure.
Just to see if there's any more going on.
Do you want to teleport to a specific floor? You know that she's up at around floor 7-ish? 7 or 8, yeah. Somewhere in there.
10.
You want to teleport to floor 10.
Yeah.
Just you or you and your allies?
Are you guys still on the ground too?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
you guys came back down?
Yeah.
You
could teleport all 3 of them, sure.
do you guys? Yeah.
Go for it. Yeah, I was gonna try and haul him up if he didn't do that.
I'm nervous about this, but honestly, it makes the most sense to me that you wouldn't necessarily think to ask me anyway. It's just kind of a thing that you would do.
I kind of have this need for protection, this want to protect everybody, so I'm gonna.
All right.
Everybody with me.
So why don't you roll an overcome check to teleport up to the 10th floor, because this is certainly not without risk. You feel pretty confident about it, and you're good at things, but still.
I'm at a D8.
Sure.
My teleportation is a D8.
You're get eaten by a laser dragon.
So what is your? So you're
I'm at 28, right?
Oh.
Yeah, if you are.
D8.
Yep. So you have D8 for your status, D8 for your teleportation, and then what quality are you using for this?
My magical lore.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. And your mid is an 8. So you succeed with no twist or complication. You bring everybody up to the 10th floor. You're up the 10th floor. And so you're there. You made it. Good job.
Once we're there.
Once you're there, you get onto the 10th floor. This is like, it's pretty dark here. There's windows letting in the light, but there's no light inside of the building. And the building's big enough that the windows are at the far edges, so you can see, but everything's dingy. Because of the storm, right? It's not pitch dark, but it's dingy in here. There's just piles of trash everywhere. This was clearly an abandoned building for some time before it even took all this damage. And there's in the corners as you guys land, you displace a lot of air, and the air that you kicks up a lot of dust. There's some like little scurrying things on the sides of the room that you don't even get a good glimpse of. And there are still the stairwells at 4 different points and the elevator shafts at 4 different points. But there's nothing notable here other than lots of sigils. Now that you're further up, in fact, the thing that you've noticed is as the further you go up, there seem to be more sigils, and they seem to be well crafted, but haphazard. But the placement of them seems somewhat haphazard. It's like, oh, well, we put a sigil on this wall, but also while I was walking by a table, I went and drew a little one on this table, and like there's sigils everywhere. Like it's almost casually like, well, I've got some spare time, I'll make some sigils. So.
Okay.
Well, the first thing that I'm going to do is head to the elevator that Violet Heart would have been coming up.
Sure.
And make sure the door is open and that she can rejoin us.
The doors are closed, but it's pretty easy for you to open them. In fact, you see her there, a couple floors below you, looking at a couple of sigil wisps. Did you want to pass it to him?
Yes, I did.
Oh, sorry, I forgot that we were in.
Yeah, we're in initiative order. And, like this is still fine, but yeah. So, and you see that there's a couple of sigil wisps that are near her that are acting like the sigil wisps that you saw before on the battlefield with the dragon, the laser dragon.
Sorry, are you fine? Does anybody have anything they want to do before we do that?
No.
Passing it to you.
And you've already
Okay,
done this, right?
cool. So I still have a little bit of action left.
Oh, of course, yeah. You open the
Okay.
door. It's a trivial thing. You're very strong to open the door.
Okay. I guess I want to do the equivalent of drawing, like taunting them, drawing their attention.
Oh, okay.
Like,
You open the door. You see the wisps. You're like, "Hey, wisps!"
like, if nothing else, I'd like and not so much to try to get them to attack me, but like I want to provide space for Violet Heart to get by.
Yeah.
So like, this strikes me as an overcome
Okay.
that I'm trying to do,
Sure.
because I'm not trying to attack them.
Yeah. Okay.
Use your old timey answer. yell at them and
They don't have a bone box to put a bunch of 5s in.
I just like the word bump. That's funny.
So yeah, I would just like to try to draw their attention.
How are you doing so?
So I'm bellowing with a loud voice.
Okay.
So I've
Your loud voice or someone else's loud voice?
my loud.
Just curious.
Yeah, yeah.
You could have a phonograph in there.
Yeah. So I'm gonna use my vitality power for this
Sure.
because
Yeah.
and this is it's tricky.
Okay.
Close combat would make the most sense of the things that I have here because I'm not using technology. It's not really history that I'm using here.
Well, I mean, you are drawing on the fact that you know they respond.
I don't know. Yeah, history does not mean
Yeah,
the
not-
thing that happened a half an hour ago.
Right.
Now, so I don't know that unless you're doing so by like punching a wall. I
Yeah.
don't know that close combat applies at all. Technology, I could see if you're using the suit to amplify your voice.
I'm not really.
Okay,
This is just me.
Right. So what is your?
I have history and ahead of my time, which definitely doesn't fit here.
I think you just grab a D4
I
for
think I'm
this.
gonna have to take a D4.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, and I'm still at
Yep.
D10
Yep.
status. All right, let's see what I got. I was trying to avoid having to roll this D4, but
rolled okay.
that's not bad.
Yeah,
I
four.
got a 4.
Yeah. 4 means your success, but with a minor twist. And if you don't have one, I definitely have all kinds of minor
feel
twists.
free to give me one here.
Whole menu here of minor twists.
Yeah.
So the thing that the thing. Oh, this is great.
Yeah.
So the environments have a pool of their own. They have a pool of 3 dice that they roll for things. And to let you a little bit behind the scenes here, the Arcane Towers die pool is built up of their collapsing infrastructure, the magical sigils, of course, that are everywhere here, and the arcane infestation, because the thing that has happened in this building is that all of the regular vermin that you would have in an abandoned building like this have been modified by the arcane energy here. But that's not what's coming up to bite you right now. What's coming up to bite you is you succeed at getting the wisp's attention to the point that she's able to move around them, no problem. They're not even looking at her anymore.
Great.
Because you take a step, you open this door, you step in, you're like, "Hey, wisps!"
Yeah.
Or whatever it is you're gonna
Wisps.
say. But the thing that has come back to bite you is the thing you didn't do at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
I have this environment twist here of collapsing floor.
Great. That's perfect, actually.
Yeah. So we're gonna roll this pool, and a 7 is the mid. And so what happens here is this is a hindrance.
Okay.
That it hinders you. A 7 is a -2. Yep. So you have a -2 hinder until this hindrance has been overcome.
Okay.
So you or someone else. So you're there and you're doing it as you yell. Your feet fall through the floor. You don't fall infinitely. You fall through the
Right.
floor, and the floor is this thick, like wooden floor over iron beams, and you are like stuck in the floor. So you are -2 hindered until you or someone else succeeds at an overcome check.
Okay.
To remove that hindrance.
All right.
But I bet I can.
Well, not until
Yeah, I know.
next round.
I know.
So that is your turn. You succeeded the thing. The wisps no longer care about her. They are too busy laughing at the metal guy that fell through a floor. And you can pass it to wisps. You can pass it to the tower itself. You can pass it to Starblight.
I'm gonna have, like, it makes the most cinematic sense for the wisps to go next.
Sure. They're gonna head towards you, these wisps.
Yeah.
And one of them's gonna do that thing where, like, as they turn and look at you, one of them does that thing where it, like, flies through you at the speed of light.
Great.
In the blink of an eye. And it hinders you for a -2. So you have a -2 to your next roll. This is just a one time you feel yourself weaken
Okay.
as the wisp passes through you. The other one attacks you and deals 7 dang damage to you.
Okay.
You feel your skin
You're
start to
fine.
crack
You
and
have, like,
die.
All sorts of reductions.
Yeah.
I believe in this case you just have a -1 to this.
A -1. I could. Yeah, I'll just take. Nope, I'm gonna. Like, basically, when it comes at me like that, I'm also going to use my calculated redirection to, like, deflect it off of me back at the other wisp.
Sure. So
So
the calculated redirection, it deals damage to a nearby target equal to the amount reduced by your armored ability,
Yeah.
and your armored ability is reducing it by 1.
Yep.
So you're dealing 1 damage to the other wisp.
Yep.
It rolls its save and succeeds, but then it takes a little bit of damage from the energy output.
That's all I cared about.
Sure, that's fine.
So I take 6 damage.
Yep. And one of the wisps, as you took that damage, as it went through you, you were able to, like, as it's floating through you, you kind of like grab it with an electrical gauntlet and slam it into the other wisp.
Yeah.
The other wisp seems out of sorts as a result.
Sounds good.
All right, you can pass it to Starblight, you can pass it to wisps, you can pass it to towers.
No, the
wisp
Oh, the
wisp
wisp
just
man.
went.
No, they can go again. That's one of their tricks, is they can just go infinitely.
Okay.
And at the end of the round, they'll just keep passing it to
That's
themselves.
really awful.
Yeah, well,
That's terrible.
Yeah.
shouldn't have played it with me. I'm going to get things wrong. Remember, Dave's not here to save you.
Oh no.
So you can pass
Who's
it.
your
Oh, so
Dave
it's the
now?
wisp's turn.
the wisp's.
It's the
They're good to
wisp's
go.
turn. I'm excited. Right, that's what they're going to do. So they're going to pass it to the tower.
Yeah.
So they pass it to the tower. Of course, they pass it to the tower. As the tower settles, with you having fallen in, the tower kind of shakes, and there is just kind of a light eldritch dust that is all the dust that's all over everybody. The dust kind of kicks up from you falling, and that kind of gets into everybody's lungs and burns. It burns a good, clean, bright burn. Wow, that's awful. That everybody takes 7 damage from that. It was the min die of what it rolled. It rolled a 7, 8, 9, and so 7
You
damage.
need to not roll so well.
Sorry about that.
Just as a point of
Yeah,
order,
yeah.
I actually only
Reduce physical or
I
energy
reduced-
damage.
I reduced it by 2 because my kinetic dampener reduces physical, and my steel framework reduces it another.
What physical damage have you taken today?
Okay, so then I wouldn't have reduced any damage.
Well, the physical or energy damage you take by 1. So the energy damage,
it's energy. You told me in the last session that it was not energy.
Oh, okay, yeah, right, because it's magical. So yeah, you didn't reduce any.
Okay.
Right,
So
because it's not physical. The wisps certainly don't do physical damage.
Right.
And they don't do energy damage. They do magical
Okay.
damage. Energy is like a beam weapon or something like that.
Okay.
So
Great. Well, I am
We will
now
just-
in the yellow.
yeah. All right. Yep. Okay.
I've been in yellow since we started. So.
I was born in the yellow zone. Yeah.
So when I did my overcome earlier to do the wall crawling,
Yeah.
I should have used Principle of the Undead, right? Overcome a situation where your undead nature comes in handy and use your max die, and you and each of your that like for future reference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So remember, rule 1, everybody, play to your principles.
Yep.
See what your principles can do for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just so everyone else doesn't make them think.
I am not going to monitor everybody's principles and tell them
No,
how they should
yeah.
use them. I will certainly help you out if you have any questions.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to. I was like,
Yep.
that would have been the thing.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, so Arcane Tower's done its stuff. Sigil Wisp have done their things. Starblight, you're the last one to go.
Okay. I'm going to feed my blade.
This is a totally reasonable thing to
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
So I'm going to. I use a hinder with my sword, and I'm going to do it against one of these, the better looking.
They're both fine because there was no damage. There was no damage reduction that happened,
Yeah.
and so there was no response that happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I'm doing a hinder, and I'm basically pointing my sword at it, and a reddish energy arcs out and sort of spiders around
Sure.
one of them.
Sure. Try to draw on the
Yeah.
magical
so
force of this wisp.
I use Starblight
Mm-hmm.
with it, which is a D8, and then I'm also going to use Living Weapon,
Okay. That sounds like you.
which is also a D8. And then my status die is a d6. Okay, so my mid is 5.
All right.
Is what I hinder them with. Which
Sure.
is
So -2?
-2, yeah. And then I heal myself equal to my min die, so 4.
Great, so you gain 4
Again,
health.
Yeah, I hinder that guy and suck some of its soul out.
Fantastic. Okay, and with that, we're into a new round, and so you can pass it to whoever you want. We've got to explore this tower. There's some wisps here. There's still chanting going on.
Let's go to you, because you look like you're having some trouble.
Yeah, I'm debating what I want to do here.
Okay.
I could overcome this. I could do an overcome.
Yeah.
The downside to that is I am hindered, so I'm less likely to actually overcome it myself, and it might be better for someone else to
Okay.
help me
Well,
with that
do you
overcome.
want someone else to help you first then, if we want?
So, well, the other thing is, I have my charged punch, which ignores all penalties, which,
So you could just like break the floor and fall down to the floor below.
I mean, the charge punch is an attack, so you'd be
Yeah,
attacking
it's
one of
an
these
attack.
wisps, ignoring the penalties on himself. Because right now he has a -2 that's
be in the
permanent,
ground, like,
and a minus. It
throwing
wouldn't
punches.
change the fact that he's going to be stuck in the floor until
Yeah.
someone overcomes.
the problem
period.
with that is, it is not my best. It uses my strength, which is only a d6, which is not ideal.
Yeah.
If you pass it to me, I was going to use telekinesis and
I'm trying to lift you.
Yeah. All
pessimism.
right. Well, let's go to
Yeah.
Violet Heart.
Pessimist. That's right there. All right.
Explain
so
to me how pessimism is going to be the thing that
I
you
don't
use to
think I
pull him out
can
of this
lift
hole.
your heavy butt, but I'm going to try. Like,
I don't think that you're using the quality of pessimism.
well, like, the only other one that I think might make sense is alertness. Like, being like aware, like
Yeah.
knowing what's going, like being aware.
Yeah, that
of
makes
the
a little bit more sense. You're like,
situation.
oh, you saw him fall to the floor. You
Yeah.
you also you were a couple floors down when you saw it happen, so you know what's on the other side. You know where his feet are and all that.
Yeah.
You have a better shot at doing this.
Okay. So I'm gonna. I like to think that I do everything with my ribbons. So like my ribbons are gonna lift him out.
Sure.
So my telekinesis is using my ribbons to lift him out, being aware of his situation.
Yep.
So I can.
Yep,
My mid is a 3.
it's a 3. So you either succeed with a major twist or you fail. It's fine.
How
do what you
attached
gotta
are
do.
you to the floor?
Well, I'm pretty
Well-
attached to it. Like, that's the problem.
Take the major twist. We haven't had.
Yeah, let's do a major twist.
Excellent.
All right.
And I'm gonna let you pick it.
Okay, well, hold on.
Let me just remove
Yeah,
this,
no, that's
though.
actually fine. That's great.
Yeah, it only makes sense, I think, because of it. Oh no.
Gosh,
What?
no, that's fantastic. This works.
I
This
don't
works
like
both
that.
sides. This
Oh
is
my
both
God,
from
one
your
hit.
principle of exorcism, the major twist being what has been allowed to enter this world.
Oh.
Yeah, and also from the Arcane Tower.
My
The thing is,
bad.
the trick is the Arcane Tower has this thing already in it, so you get this thing that what has entered this world is some sort of like weird spirit thing that's come through the sigil to inhabit one of the verminous creatures that lives in this building, and it is now here, and you pull Dynamo. I tell you what, I've got too many things on my head right now. I've got all these things too. You pull Dynamo up out of the ground and out of the floor and set him on the ground, and that's solved. And that -2, that permanent -2 is gone. You still have the temporary -2, but so that's just gone. He's safe. And then you are attacked from behind by an impossum,
Ooh.
An impossum.
an
love
imp
it.
possum.
I don't believe it. That's impossible.
Yes, good.
Do I get to do my reaction?
Well, it's coming charging at you. It doesn't get to like grab the initiative from you.
Okay.
But now there's this impossum that is charging at you, and it's this overly large possum creature that has like 6 eyes on one side of its face and none on this side. Its nose is all twisted in a non-Euclidean way. Its feet reach out at you, and green and purple ooze drips from its teeth and its ears.
Just like
This is a normal possum.
Its tail, right, I'm describing another possum. Its coat is many different colors of green, many different shades of green, and its tail, you can't see the end of it. It wraps on and on into the darkness,
so neat.
and it's coming at you.
Hey, you made a friend.
Aww. Okay, so
You can pass it to whoever you want.
I can pass it to whoever. I'm not gonna pass it to the possum.
Okay.
Yet. You want to pass to you?
Yeah, sure.
You got a plan?
Yeah.
All right.
Like, I'm ready
Get
for
on it,
this.
Dynamo.
I'm ready for this.
So you got a couple of wisps near you, Dynamo.
Yeah.
A couple floors below you, stuck to a wall, is Violet Heart with an imp possum charging at her. It's also able to run up walls, no problem. It doesn't seem to. It doesn't seem to really worry about gravity in any sort of direction.
Yeah.
And then you have a couple of friends on the floor that are near you there. Starblight and Stella Nova are not too far from you, Dynamo.
All right. It's a tricky situation here. I'm gonna try to take out. I think I'm gonna try to take out those wisps because those hindrances are really bad. So the one that's hindered currently, is the one I'm gonna punch at.
Sure. What kind of punch are you doing?
So, this is not my charged punch.
Okay.
This is just a straight up
A basic
boxing
attack?
maneuver.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm using my normal power suit.
Your power
punch.
suit? Yeah.
Yeah. So there's my power suit.
Sure.
This is definitely close combat now.
No, I don't think. Yes, it is.
But I'm currently in my yellow
Sure.
range, so I'll be using a D8.
Great.
All right.
And you take your mid die. This is just a basic attack.
Yeah. With a -2.
With a -2, but it also has a -2 on its save.
Correct.
So what is your mid die?
Oh, my mid die
A 4,
is
a 6, and an 8.
Is a 6.
So you've got a
a
4
4.
coming at this guy.
Yeah.
It rolls its defense. It rolls a 2, which is 0, which you destroy it. So you punch this sigil wisp, and it ceases to exist.
That is correct.
Yeah.
One down.
All right, that was your turn. You punched out a wisp. What do you want to do? You can pass it to either of these two. You can pass it to any of my 3 note card friends over here.
Stella Nova, I'm going to pass it to you. You seem well equipped to handle this sort of thing.
Okay, cool. So I want to take out the impossum.
Sure.
Yes.
You
I'm
feel
thinking-
it charging from below, and you're like, oh, there's something magical that should not be.
Right. Yeah, so I want to use my lunar beam,
Yeah.
my orb. I want to release this this beam that blinds it.
Okay.
And so, because it's currently running around and
Yeah.
being crazy and everything, that blinds it. And I also, is it possible for me to gather up the dust and turn it into something magical to where the impossum explodes, or
So are you telling me that you're using your lunar beam ability or not? Because your lunar beam ability says what it does there. And so, like, if you use your lunar beam ability, you attack using your lunar orb, you ignore all penalties on the attack, you ignore any defend actions, and the attack cannot be affected by any sort of reaction. So if that's what you're doing, the way you're doing it is what you're describing, where you are gathering up the dust as part of the attack, and you're attacking it in a way that blinds it so it can't use any of its defenses or reactions, but you're not getting, you aren't getting an extra effect just because you're describing an extra effect. You know, if you ever want to do a thing, you're like, hey, I want to create an extra effect that isn't anywhere in my character sheet, what you do is you take a basic action, you take what's called a risky attack or a risky action. You can do a risky overcome, a risky boost, or a risky hinder, a risky attack. And when you do a risky action, you do the action, you describe the extra part of it, you and the GM are like, make sure, yes, that this works. Like, I wouldn't let you just explode a lieutenant, because spoilers, this is a lieutenant. I wouldn't let you just for free explode it, but you would get some bonuses to the attack at the cost of you definitely take a minor twist as part of this action. So,
Okay, then that-
right, but if you want to use your lunar beam, great. Everything you're describing is part of the lunar beam.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Right.
So you're, as part of this, your lunar beam is charged up by the ambient energy around you into this attack.
Yep.
Fantastic.
All right, so I'm gonna use my
So you attack using the lunar orb, which is a D10.
D10.
You pick one of your qualities that you figure
My
applies to
magical
this.
lore.
Magical lore, sure. You know this is a magical being. You're like, I'm going to
and
take you
then
apart.
A D8.
Great, because you're in the yellow zone. Excellent. And you attack, and it doesn't say you use a specific die. That means that you use your mid die. And so you rolled a 2, a 3, and a 10, but a 3 is your mid die. And so, the 0 on D10s is a 10, because it doesn't go 0 to 9, it goes 1 to 10. So you rolled a 3, so a 3 is your mid die, it's your attack. So you attack the possum with a 3, and it normally has a defense where it gets a bonus to its roll, but it doesn't because your lunar orb negates that. So it rolls its die, It rolls a 2. It fails at its save, so it is degraded. You hit it and you blast away at it, and it's a little blinded, and it's hurt, and it's now just a D6 imp possum.
Sweet.
All right. Who do you want to pass it to? You have all of these friends, and you've got Starblight.
So didn't we learned from the last one that if we pass it to them at the end, so if we let Starblight go before they go, then they can pass it to themselves on the next round,
they can go twice.
which makes it go faster.
Really, really rough.
So I don't want the impossum to go, but it probably makes sense for the impossum to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
To them.
The opossum is like, blinded and stuff, and it starts falling off the wall, but its tail snakes out of its own accord and grabs onto a hook that's coming out of the wall and pulls it up, and it gets back up there. It's like, ugh, and it continues charging at you. It is going to bite at you, and so it attacks, and whenever it attacks, it also hinders with that same roll. So, because it's an opossum, it's made of gross. So it bites you, and you take 1 damage, which is not that bad, but you do have a -1 penalty to the next thing you do. Just floating there. Whoop. And that's what it does. And after that, it passes it to Starblight.
Oh.
Oh no!
Oh. Okay.
We're learning valuable lessons here
Yeah.
There's no
about how the
winning.
world works.
There's no winning.
Well, I'm going to. Okay.
The good news, the opossum is like really terrible at rolling. You guys said I needed to roll a bit worse. I'm on it. I'm working. I rolled a 2 for its defense. I rolled a 1 for its attack.
I'm gonna explode that.
There's still
impossum.
the residual energy that I spidered out over that wisp. It's like it's still visibly in the air, and so what I do then is I sort of make a hand motion and turn it into a.
You're talking about the wisp that you hindered?
Yes.
The wisp.
It's dead. It's
Oh,
dead.
okay.
Yeah, I know.
There's the residual energy of where the
Yeah.
wisp was.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
Between me and the wisp,
Yeah.
it's like if you shot something out and then there was like a trail behind
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, that
Absolutely.
energy's still in the air.
A wisp.
Yeah. It's my own wisp.
You made your own wisp.
Yeah. So I'm going to use miasmation to alter that energy and wrap it around the opossum and myself and channel some of that energy
You're just gonna eat
to
everything.
me. Yeah, I am.
Eating it all.
But yeah,
the
so I'm going
world.
to use this miasmation, which boosts myself using Infernal, and I use my max die, and then I hinder a nearby opponent with my min die.
Great.
So I use Infernal, which is D8.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that this isn't really close combat. It's not really deep space knowledge either. I think that finesse is probably
Okay. You're doing it carefully.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I could see living weapon also, but I think finesse is probably more accurately.
Okay.
And then D6 for
There you
my,
go.
yeah. So my max die boosts me, which is a 6.
So you have a +2 boost to the next thing you do.
Yeah, my min is a 1.
All right, and is that an attack? That's a hindrance, or what is it?
It's a hinder.
You hinder with a -1. So it has a -1. The opossum has a -1 to its next thing, whatever it is, be it an attack or defense roll.
So I have a +2.
You have a +2 to the next thing you do. Yeah.
All right, for my miasmation.
Nicely done.
All right. All right, I guess we gotta go to the sigil wisps now.
You could go to the tower.
I could go to the tower.
Could go to the tower.
Let's do the wisps.
All right. So the wisp is going to attack you because you're stuck there on the ground, and it's trying to. No, I mean you've just been pulled out of the ground. You're still in the same place, and it's not even going to attack you. It's actually just going to. It's the same one that flew through you before. It's going to fly through you again, giving you another -2. Yep. Pretty rough. -2 to your next thing. The soldier wisps are there to just shut stuff down. And
I want those on me.
Do you really?
I really do.
I will give them to you.
Oh yeah, I think you can. But I like when things debuff me because I can go like,
Rats?
well.
magic rats. Magic rats. There are some magic rats.
There's this really good song called Rats that just came out.
I believe you.
Yeah.
Are they magic though?
The band is like all it's like death metal, and it's like folky magic death metal.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
sorry guys.
you
Wizard
are
it's not
doing
Wizard
your
Rock.
miasmation stuff, and you're controlling this thing, and there's the energy, and you feel surprised to be chomped at from behind by 2 rats.
What?
And they in fact do a ton of damage because they have a +1 for each rat in the scene. So this one rolled a 5 and does 7 damage. This one rolls a 3 and does 5 damage. You take a total of 12 damage from 2 rats. because these magic rats, as you don't really notice it, but Stella Nova, you're there, and you notice that as these rats run up, they look like normal little rats, and as they open their mouth, what's inside their mouth is this deep, cavernous black hole of antimatter that when they chomp something, they're actually dissolving and destroying whatever it is their mouth touches.
Wow.
Your antimatter conversation had an effect on him.
So there goes my arm.
That was probably just your leg.
Or just my leg.
Just your legs.
Oh, okay, I can deal with that my leg. But
Good.
I'm
You got another
solidly in the red zone now.
Hey, Adam, it's where you live.
So, yeah.
Someday we'll get you out of the red zone and then back right into it again.
Oh.
I'm glad you healed up some at the beginning of this thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's the magic rats. They go, and then they're going to pass it right back to you because at the end of the round, everybody's gone. Yep. So they're going to the magic rats are going to pass it to you. The arcane tower on its turn just marked off and summon some magic rats.
You can recover.
I can recover. I am gonna. Actually
As the round begins, you hear the chanting pick up a notch from all of the sigils and all the places around you, and you hear it saying Kaltor Falipan. Again, poor pronunciation. It sounds like they're maybe trying to summon something, but clearly they're summoning things, and it doesn't seem like it's directed at you in any way.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I'm going to. I'm gonna feed the blade on the opossum again.
Sure. Delicious.
Seems like my role is going to be debuffs a lot, which I'm very comfortable with.
That's great.
So yeah, I'm gonna hinder using Starblight, and this time I'm going to actually like run in there and try and like drive it like spectrally in.
Yeah.
And like phase it through and try and dislodge pieces of its soul that way.
Sure.
Basically.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm going to use close combat.
Okay.
And then I have a D8 for my
There you
red
go. See,
zone.
look
Yeah.
at that. That's great.
I get better as I get smaller here. Okay, so my hinder is
So what'd you roll?
5.
You rolled a 2, 3, 5?
No, I rolled a 6. I just moved that. It
Okay,
was
sorry. So you rolled a 3, 5, 6.
3, 5, 6. So 5 is the hindrance.
So it has a -2 to its next action because of you eroding pieces of the impossum's soul, and you gain 2 health. Or 3 health, sorry.
Yes.
Are you out of the red zone yet?
Nope.
Okay.
I am at the top of the red zone.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like the
So
highest
it's a
you've
little
been.
bit better. It is. It is
we
the highest
go.
I've been. I'm going to send it to my friend here.
Okay. I want to take out the wisps because the wisps seem to be what's attracting everything.
Okay.
Can I use my restore piece, which is an overcome an environmental challenge, using my cosmic energy?
So this is not an environmental challenge. A challenge is the thing with checkboxes that you check off the boxes, like the stuff we've had before, where like, oh, the sigils were environmental challenges and things like that. This is not an environmental challenge. This is a minion. It has a die size. It is trying to attack you. That's what's going on there.
Okay.
Dynamo having fallen through the floor, I would call an environmental challenge.
Okay.
The sigils from last time was an environmental challenge. I think that you'll see in a bit as an environmental challenge. Don't worry about that.
Okay, so I guess I'm going to use my lunar beam again.
Okay.
And charge up its
Are you in the
energy.
yellow zone still?
I am, yes.
Okay.
And charge up my energy to blast this beam through the sigil to break up its components using my magical lore.
Okay.
Yep.
That's good to know.
And you're doing that against the sigil wisp.
Yes.
Okay, so roll for it. So you have to use your lunar orb.
D10.
Yep. And then which of your qualities? Magical lore? probably?
Magical lore, D10,
Yep.
and then D8.
Yep, there you go. So 9.
Ooh.
9 is your mid against the sigil wisp. It rolls its D8 and fails to roll a 9 or higher. And sure enough, you destroy the sigil wisp and it dissipates and disappears. Gone. What do you want to do? What do you want to pass it to?
I've got a plan for the rats.
Creepy.
You got-
I would like, so I'm going to use my, whenever it gets to me, I'm going to use my turn to do a little defense. So whatever you want to do is fine, because I'm not going to be doing an attack anyway.
It's
Yay.
go, girl.
Okay, so I'm in the yellow now, so I'm gonna do glitter bomb.
Okay.
And it says destroy a D6 or D8 minion. Roll that minion's die as an attack against another target. So I'm going to attack.
So gross.
You exploded into glitter.
Yeah, she just straight up destroys the minion.
Yeah.
So one of the two magic rats that was chomping at you explodes into glitter. That for sure happens.
What is glitter?
What is glitter?
Oh.
Yeah, no.
Say that on the stream.
So then roll the minion's die as an attack. So you just roll the d6.
That's all right.
3.
Okay. And so one of it explodes, and the other one also is consumed by the glitter.
Yes.
So the magic rats, as was discussed, the inside of their mouths was just antimatter. As one of them explodes into glitter, the ball of antimatter that was being contained by the rat, the glitter explodes around it, and that antimatter just expands and expands and expands, and the other rat is like, and gets sucked into it, and it also explodes, and that explosion collapses all the antimatter, which is good, because it was getting closer and closer to you, and you're like, oh, geez, and then it collapses, and you're like, okay, that's fine.
Just a big glitter poof. Yay. Yeah.
And yeah, all that's left on the ground is a pile of
I'm
glitter.
not sure what just happened there, but I'm okay with it.
Normal things.
All right, so that was your really weird and creepy turn. You can pass it to the arcane tower. You can pass it to the soul-wrenched impossum, who I'm starting to feel bad for. Or I guess you could pass it to
Think you
Dynamo.
kill the impossum?
So what I'd actually like to do is defend our friend over here, just in case.
Okay.
Just because Starblight is not looking so hot.
He's looking great. He's doing fine.
Okay.
Doing fine. He's got double-digit hit points.
Yeah.
Sure.
That means I'm not dead.
If,
I mean, I can try. Unfortunately, I'm hindered.
yeah.
So, like, having me do an attack, even with the impossum's hindrance, is not necessarily the best move.
Yeah. You're just the last person to go, so if we pass it to them, then it'll go to the scene, probably. Right? And then it can go back to the impossum, potentially?
I mean, I can punch at it. That's fine. I've got. I could do my charged punch, which will
There you go.
ignore all the penalties.
There you
Okay,
go.
let's try
And
that
it'll
one.
ignore any defend actions or reactions on the impossum, so it has a native defense that you would just be cutting right through.
That's true. That's not a bad idea.
And it has a -3 to its roll.
Yeah. Okay. You want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to use my charged punch. I'm going to attack using strength, which is a d6.
Awesome.
I'm going to use close combat.
That's great.
Which is a d6.
Yeah.
And I am in the yellow, so it's going to be a d8. And because it's my charged punch, I'm going to ignore all penalties, ignore any defend actions, and it cannot be affected by reactions.
Beautiful.
So we got a 2, 3, and a 5. So, that's
So you got a 3 against the impossum. Rolls a 5, but it has a -3, so it's down to a 2.
Yeah.
Its soul seems repaired, but its body is wrecked. Did I draw that 4 backwards?
No.
Got it.
well done.
It's always a crapshoot when you write them upside down. All right, impossum is looking awful. It's looking awful, and in fact, I assume you're going to pass it to the impossum or the arcane tower, your choice.
I'm going to pass it to the tower, actually.
All right. Everybody's in the yellow zone now, not in terms of health, but in terms of the scene itself is in the yellow zone as the arcane tower shudders and all of the sigils turn. They were all lots of different colors, some blue sigils and some white energy and some green energy, and they all kind of turn and click into a red energy tone, and the tower kind of shakes.
That's what my bedroom looks like.
And
What?
Evil red energy.
I'm
All right.
surprised you don't just have black lights in your bedroom. That seems like you. No, that's you.
Weird. That's weird,
You have candles.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got I've just got red neon.
Yeah.
all right, and with that,
Black light. That's what that would be.
Rainbow.
and as that happens, as the sigil lock, the shuddering of the tower shakes loose some dust from the walls of the ceiling. This is different. This isn't the dust that was laying on everything. This is dust that's coming out of the walls of the ceiling.
Okay.
And this is dust that could have probably been prevented by some regular inspections of some sort during the construction of this. But
Yeah, I got asbestos all up in
it is
there.
exactly correct, except that it's been modified by the magic here.
Oh, good.
It is arcane asbestos. Arcane asbestos, which is a suggestion from the chat from this morning. So
Nice.
you're welcome.
Thanks a lot.
That comes out, and you are all hindered. -3. You all have a -3. I rolled a 1, an 8, and a 9, and an 8 is the mid on that, so a -3 to the next thing you do because the arcane asbestos is infiltrating your lungs.
Just got a -5. That's nothing.
That'll be fine.
Punch
It's gonna be fine. The impossum.
I've only got a -3.
The opossum does not like being punched, and so it chomps at you
Do it.
with its fearsome die. And when it attacks, it also hinders for this much. You're going to be so hindered.
Now, here's the question.
Yeah.
Is that based on how much damage it does?
No, it's based on the roll.
Okay.
The same roll is used as an attack action and a hinder action.
Okay. Okay.
1.
You take 1 physical damage.
I do not.
And you have a -1 to your next action. As the weird, gross goo gets on you and begins eating through your suit.
So I have a -1, but I did reduce the physical damage by 4.
And you take no damage, that's true. You're just going to wander around with an you'll just keep charged punches. You keep ignoring that penalty, but it doesn't use up the penalty. So you're just going to keep building it up at the end of the session with, I got a -26 the next thing I do, but I'm fine.
Yeah, I have a -6 currently going on.
We'll get there.
That's great.
All right, so with that, that's the end of the round. So the opossum is going to pass it to you, Craig.
All right. Well, yeah.
You've got a D4 opossum in front of you. As long as any attack that you make against it beats its defense roll, it is a lieutenant, so if it successfully defends, it won't degrade.
Yeah.
But if you beat its attack roll, or
I'm at a
defense roll,
-6 right now.
yeah, but you've got the charged punch. You can ignore that penalty.
Still gotta get higher than 4 -6.
No, I ignore that.
Oh, you ignored that
because of my
penalty
charged
on you.
punch.
And you
Okay.
ignore the defense that it has if you charge punch it.
Yeah. Ooh, it's really tempting.
Just keep that going.
Just go for it then. You got it.
But I would.
What's the worst that could happen?
What I want to do is boost myself to kind of help overcome some of that penalty stuff.
The boost you have will be affected by the -6.
That's true. All right, I'm gonna punch this thing.
All right.
So I'm gonna do the same thing this time, charged punch.
Yeah.
Using my incredibly strong strength, and my close combat abilities, and my D8. Ignoring all minuses. I got a 2, 2, and a 6. So I rolled a 2.
You've got a 2. So if it rolls a 1, it dies. If it rolls anything else, it's fine.
You got this.
It's fine.
And it
I'm not
doesn't
worried
have any
about it.
bonus to defense or anything.
Oh.
A 4.
That's fine. That's fine. Somebody else will take care
You
of
punch
it.
the opossum, and the impossum, you don't fail to punch it. You punch it, and you feel your fist sink into it, and it goes, "Rah!" And it doesn't change. It's like it now has a fist shape inside of it. "Rah!" If anything, it makes it worse.
It looks weird.
It does look weirder.
Well, that's gross.
Yeah. It's kind of like those stress balls that have the stuff around them.
Yeah.
And you squeeze it and little pustules pop out.
Yep, pustules, but like furry, gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Pustules.
Moist.
Let's have this conversation, guys. Moving along.
You said you thought it was cute.
It's adorable.
Okay.
the exit
Who do you want to pass it to? Dynamo? You can pass it back to the opossum.
I could.
You could.
Actually.
I feel like someone here could probably end it before it gets
Probably
into
true.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pass it to you.
I can probably end it.
Why don't you do your
Well,
thing?
I mean, no, you could pass it to Starblight, so Starblight could hinder it so it's worse at defense and get some health out of it before.
Do you want to
Oh,
do that?
yeah, that might
That's
be a
not
better
a bad
plan.
idea.
Yeah.
Because you're probably gonna recover on your turn anyway, if I had to guess.
Maybe.
Or will you?
I mean, like I need
Starlight's not
something to
really-
recover off of. I need.
Yeah,
I need to suck something's soul out.
Okay,
with
so
my
it's
sword.
suck its soul.
do this thing.
So I could do it to any of you
Nah.
if there's not in lieu of
No,
the
why not?
opossum.
I don't
Yeah.
have one of those.
Impossible.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah. Why don't
I
you
got
go
it.
after
Impossible.
this impot? Why don't you?
Okay, yeah. I will feed my blade again, and this time I'm going for the head.
All right.
I'm gonna try and just like get its
Yeah,
brains.
Which one?
Yeah.
Or which part of it?
The side with the 6 eyes, the side with no eyes.
So here's my question.
No way.
This says hinder using Starblight.
Yeah.
Also recover health to my min die.
Right.
If I do this as a risky action, can I?
So a risky action has to be a basic action.
It has to be a
that you're
basic
multiplied. You
action.
can't
Okay.
riskyify
I can't
any of your
modify
abilities.
my ability. Okay.
Right.
All right. Okay. So I use that. I use close combat, and I use my red status die.
There you go. This is gonna be great.
Okay.
Oh, that min.
Oh God.
And that mid as well.
Yeah.
All right. So you rolled a
Well.
1, 1, and a 3. You guys are rolling
And it's minus
so well tonight. It's
minus
fantastic.
3 I have here.
Real glad I passed that to you.
Well,
So you hinder it as a -1.
yeah, I'm trying to think if I can use any of my things here to make this not just a waste.
I mean, it's not a waste. You still get 1 health out of it, and
it's minus 3. Like I have.
Oh, you have a hinder.
Yeah, I have a hinder.
So the hinder is going to apply to one of your 2 dice, and so it'll either apply to the hindrance or to the health. So you can still either gain the 1 hit point or you can get the -1.
Let's get the -1. That's fine.
On it.
Yeah.
So you don't gain any health, but it does have a -1 to its next action.
Yeah. That's okay.
All right. You drive the energy of your blade into this thing's head, and it seems to like twist away from you.
Yeah.
And you're like, now I'm gonna pull health from it, and there's nothing to pull.
There's nothing left to get.
This thing's. It's
I'm like, okay, well, I've got its soul entirely now, so it's up to you.
It doesn't seem to be adversely affected by you having its soul entirely.
I'm just gonna
It's
use.
got -1.
I'm gonna use my dagger. I'm gonna use Zesty Blood and.
And drip blood on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna drip blood on it.
Just gonna heartstorm it.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna heartstorm it.
Yeah, that sounds great.
So Zesty Blood is D10. I'm at a D8, and then.
What are you using here for your stab?
No.
For your quality.
Magical lore.
Sure.
I mean,
it's a
still
magical
applies,
creature.
so-
You're like trying to take it apart. That's great. And you use your max die for this, which is a
8.
10.
Nice.
Oh, 10. Yeah.
Yep. So you got a 10. It rolls its die. It rolls a 1. -1 is 0. You destroy the imp possum. As your dagger drives into the imp possum, as you hit it, magically, like your dagger's in it. It seems like it's stuck. It shouldn't like be able to move or anything. And the possum flips over on its back, the dagger cutting a line all the way through it as it does, and lays there on its back upside down. And its tail snakes up out of the darkness and swips around it a million times until it's just like a little bundle of string with the tail there, with the dagger sticking out of the top of
Are
it.
you gonna keep that?
Yeah.
Souvenir.
So it's about this big. Are you gonna keep it? What are you gonna do with it? Or are you just gonna leave it there?
I guess I should.
I mean, you
leave
do
it
what you
there.
want. I'm here to support.
Pick it up on the way
Yeah,
out.
we'll get all the way out.
All right, just a little bundle of tail, and you estimate it's probably 200-300 feet of tail, of like thread thin tail.
That could be
Wrapped around
really
it.
useful.
That could be really. I'm sure it's
I mean,
strong.
it's a
right?
magical
Stronger than
component
normal.
for something.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Maybe.
It could
Yeah.
be also weaker or the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Who knows? Who's to say? I'm passing it to Stella.
All right.
Teleport us somewhere. Let's do that.
Maybe up to the top of the place.
Or if you have another plan,
You can do whatever you
do
want.
whatever you want.
And I mean, that's the next move. Is there's nothing else going on in the scene?
I mean, the sigils are all vibrating an angry red color. The building is shaking a bit more than before. You all hear the chanting of "Una Tsunagi, shake the building. But
Yeah, I feel like we need to find.
it's probably no big deal. You could just leave, get some ice cream, come back, whatever.
I mean, that is an option.
What if we just level the building?
Ooh.
It seems like it's going to do that on its own, but like you're no expert. You're not an engineer.
All right, let's investigate further.
It seems like it's gonna do it on its own. I am.
He is.
This wouldn't be an overcome, would it?
To teleport up to the top?
Yeah.
Yep, just same as
Oh,
last time.
okay.
If you want to teleport to a place you don't know, I'm gonna make you do an overcome because
All
it
right,
is
cool.
a move that comes with great risk.
All right, sweet. I'm gonna teleport everyone using my magical lure.
And where are you going?
Can you use any of your principles in this? Mine are both overcomes. That's why I asked.
No, not really.
Okay, cool.
Charging into danger or using my knowledge of possible futures.
Okay.
I mean, you're saying overcome a situation in which you charge headlong into danger.
I think that's
teleporting
exactly
someplace
what
you
you're
don't know where it
doing.
is because you want to deal with a bad situation.
sounds like-
that sounds like charging into
Specifically
danger.
charging.
Here's my question: what floor are you teleporting to? You're on the 10th floor right now because that's where you teleported from the ground floor to the 10th floor.
Do you know
You
how many?
know there's 22 stories in this building.
Let's go to the 22nd.
All right, let's do it.
Do it.
Great.
And yeah,
All right.
you are charging into danger, so you can definitely use the principle of the indestructible, which will let you use your max die and give everybody a hero point.
All right. That is good to know. D8, and then magical lore, D10.
So what is it? What are your so magical is a
Teleportation.
D10. Teleportation is a D8. There you go. Makes sense. Yep. Great.
I can't talk.
No worries. All right. So an 8 is your maximum die. You succeed with no twist of any sort.
Sweet.
So that's great. You appear on the top floor of the building, and you are in a room that is full of negative magical energy that is bursting up from the floor that you stand on. You all enter into the room, and you're initially all blinded by the brightness of the light, and you're all recoil from this intense, like blue-white light that is pushing up from the floor beneath you up out of the ceiling of the building. The ceiling is mostly destroyed. The roof of this building is trash. And up above, as you begin to gain your eyesight back again, you see it up above is these storm clouds circling, and there's this giant giant sigil up in the sky.
I think we overshot it by 1 floor.
Yeah, there we go. Whoop, up here. And yeah, oh, look at that. That looks cool. This art is actually, like, you can zoom in infinitely. It looks so good. This is just.
We don't see
great.
anything. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
So you're there as this light's bursting up into this sigil. Yeah, it feels good. Feels real good as this energy tears through you. But you're all fine. There's no adverse effects to this, I'm sure.
Okay. I'm still at a -6, but that's not because of this.
It's not.
Does my -3 go away?
No, you're still in the scene. You're still in the scene tracker.
Okay.
That -3 goes away when something makes it go away.
Okay.
You can use an overcome to counter it.
All of us that round, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you gotta pass it to the arcane tower, and the arcane tower. Oh, that's perfect. The energy that is bursting through the floor up into the above starts to take on that red hue of the sigils that were down below that had all turned and locked into a red color. And as it does so, you all feel energy, power being stripped from you and driven up into the sigil that's up in the sky as it starts to turn red. And all of you, until the sigil situation is solved, all of your power dice are one size smaller.
Ooh.
All of you, every single one of your power dice are one size smaller until this challenge is
Well, I
overcome.
don't like that.
I don't like it
To
at
a
all.
minimum of a D4.
To a minimum of a D4, yes.
Okay.
None of you have any D4 power dice, so it couldn't
I
possibly.
mean, just checking.
You're
Because
saying because it was like minimum of D6. Nope, minimum D4.
Yeah, okay.
Yikes.
No flipping coins for anything.
I don't like that.
So that is a thing that's definitely happening from the arcane tower. And it is, we'll pass it to Stella Nova. You just appeared here in the top. You landed here, there's all this energy coursing around you, and you're like, oh, this is fine, this is energy. And the energy took on a much worse tint and took something from you, and you feel way bad now. What do you want to do?
Okay. I want to try to take out the sigil.
Okay, try to remove the energy from the sigil.
Yeah, so I'm going to use my lunar beam and
The lunar beam's an attack. What are you attacking the sigil?
yeah.
Okay, the sigil. Sure, you can attack the sigil. It's not a target. It doesn't have health. It doesn't have a die size associated with it. So,
Okay.
like this is a situation in which you have a challenge to overcome. You had that situation earlier where you're like, oh, I want to overcome a challenge at one of these minions. Minions are things that you can attack with damage. This is the opposite of that. It's a challenge you can overcome, but not attack with damage.
Okay, so I can use my restore peace.
There you go.
overcome
Yes.
That's the right situation.
Using my cosmic energy. And so I can, I come up with this energy out of my hands and I beam it towards one of the sigils and try to take it out, try to do different configurations within its components.
Sure. So right now it's set up to specifically be stealing energy from you guys, stealing power from you guys. And you're like, what if you didn't do that thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. So it says use your cosmic energy. So cosmic energy, you have to use for your powers, but you pick whatever quality you want, and you're in the yellow zone, so you do a D8 for that.
So it's a D8 now, right?
D8 for your yellow zone, yeah. And your cosmic energy is a D8, right?
Yeah.
Instead
okay.
of a D10. And what quality are you using?
My
for
magical lore.
Makes sense. Magical lore.
Which is a D8 now.
It's just a D10. It's only reducing your powers, not your qualities.
Okay.
All your qualities are still the same. It's reducing all your powers by one die size. All right, so, and it says use your max die, which is a 9, so you absolutely succeed. The sigils are still red and still pulling energy from you, but they feel not as locked in anymore, and as the sigils are turning, they're kind of going through a few different color phases. You still feel your powers being drained, but it's not as bad. And it says you can also either remove any penalty in the scene or boost equal to your mid die. So you could boost someone or either yourself or someone else for a +3, or you could remove somebody's penalty. And you have a -3 penalty right now. Technically, you have a -3, a -2, and a -1. You don't have 1 -6.
Right.
So you could remove one of their 2 -3s or your -3. Each of the 3 of you have a -3 penalty, and you could choose to just remove one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and do that.
All right, so you're down to just a -2 and a -1.
And a -1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you want to, you can invoke your hero point bonuses bonuses from previous scenes, from previous issues, to negate those penalties.
Sure.
If you ever get an overcome, if you're like, or a bonus, if I got a -1 penalty and I get a -1 bonus, they just cancel each other out.
Cool.
Okay, so that was your action. Who do you want to pass it to? You can pass it to these things, or you can pass it to one of your teammates.
I have something that I'm going to try and do, if you want to pass it to me.
Yeah, same.
Right, does it involve taking up the sigil?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Let's.
Okay. So I want to talk to my Blight Matrix.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, Sam. How are you today? No, it's okay. Blight Matrix doesn't talk like that. You know what your Blight Matrix sound like. It's angry and it's demanding and it's in your head. And in fact, it's a kind of a risky move for you to like call it up because it's never gone really well.
No, it hasn't. But I am going to try and commune with it and get it to absorb the energy out of all of these sigils.
Okay.
And the reason I'm doing this is because I have no idea what's going on.
Sure.
And so I'm going to overcome against a challenge that involves information I have no real way of knowing.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree that this is a case here where the principle of whispers works because you're saying, hey, look, there's all this magical stuff, and I'm not in any way magical, and I don't know magic.
Yeah.
But Blight Matrix, is this your kind of thing?
Can you help me?
Yes.
So it's a D12, but that gets reduced to a D10 currently. And then I'm going to say Deep Space Knowledge because I'm consulting its knowledge.
Yeah.
Like this is specifically me talking to this thing and having it take care of it.
For that, I'm going to say living weapon because the Blight Matrix is part of that. Like because this is in no way deep space. Your quality of deep space doesn't matter for this.
Okay.
So
that is fine. And then
you're still in the red zone, right?
In the red, yeah. So.
Yep.
And I use my max die, and everyone's going to get a hero point from
Yeah, everybody get a hero point.
That is a 9.
It's a 9, very nice.
Minus 3 from this.
Yeah.
Which makes it a 6.
Which makes it a 6.
That's great.
But
That's
it still succeeds.
Right. So
Minor twist.
yes. So let's. Yeah, that's great. That's great. So let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's do this. So you go into your head.
Yeah.
You're like, oh shoot, this is bad. So you go into your head and you're like,
hey, look, I know I try not to talk to you that often, but I need your help here because I'm finding it a little hard to navigate this situation. I have no idea what's going on, and I thought you might have some information as to that.
What will you give me?
What do you want?
Everything.
Okay, well, let's start there. Let's work our way back.
You must fight.
Okay. Yeah, of course. I agree.
Good. And as you say, I agree.
Agreements are great.
You feel everything kind of go white. And the three of you all saw Starblight. Like, I don't know that anybody was specifically like looking and concentrating on Starblight, but you all kind of noticed that Starblight was like kind of spacing out. And then all of a sudden, like the whites of his eyes are just white all the way across, and he falls back on the ground. And as his back hits the ground, he falls back like completely like a board. And as his back hits the ground, energy radiates from where his body touches the ground out into the sigils, and all of the magical energy that's like bursting up to the floor gets sucked into him, and he just kind of absorbs it all up.
And you see those red vines extend over me also.
Yeah, and with that, it sucks up all that energy, and the sigil lockdown goes away, and he's now just pulsing with weird energy, and not reacting, just laying there.
Yeah.
And as it pulses and pulses and pulses, the pulses get lower and lower and lower, and then like You come to, you're laying on the ground on your back. There's none of this energy anymore. You can look up into the sky. The storms are still rolling around up there, but there's no sigil in the air above you. And you don't have a feeling for how long you've been laying there.
Hey.
Good job.
Thanks.
I think.
Like,
Are you okay?
we know how long it's been like.
Yeah. Like under a minute.
Yeah.
Do I remember everything that I did also?
In your head, yes, you remember that conversation.
Okay.
But then you remember everything going white, and now you wake up here. You don't remember falling to the ground. You don't remember this energy. Like,
all right.
that wasn't you.
I sort of blink and look around. I'm like, okay, everything all right?
Yeah, you took
good?
Took it out?
You took it out.
Hey, okay.
I've probably started the process of brewing tea if it's been that long.
It's been less than a minute. It's been less than a minute.
Did I find out what was going on? How long have I been gone?
It's not been long. You barely touched the ground and you're
I
already
tell you
awake.
exactly how long you've been out.
37 seconds.
Okay.
To be precise.
And a half.
Yeah, so I will
Time
send it
travel
over to I'll send it to Dynamo.
Okay. Oh, so we're still.
You're still there. This is-
my
so the-
debuff
so
I
is
the-
gone.
haven't started to brew
That's
tea
good.
yet.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. You could choose to on your turn if you want. We took a little bit of creative pause here for a falling on the ground moment.
Yeah.
But the energy is not there. However, you can all hear. You take a minute in the comparative silence. There's no longer the roar of energy.
Right.
There's no longer the chanting booming from all the sigils. But you all actually hear. You continue to hear the Oni Mani Tastas chanting, but it's coming. But you're hearing it like normal style, and it's coming through the floor right beneath you. You hear it as if Trevor in the other room started chanting really loud.
tempted to.
Like,
Do it.
Are you hoping that? Yay!
it's good. It's good. It's
Thank you,
good.
Trevor.
Thank you, Trevor.
For those of you that are on the chat, the live stream that probably couldn't hear that, Trevor just chanted from the other room, and it was good. It was perfect.
Yeah. So, for serious, should I bust through the floor or should I, like, boost myself? It's probably busting through the floor is going to be a better move because of my bonuses, my negatives that I have right now.
Yeah.
Are we all ready to face that?
I'm good.
It's probably just kids in robes and like bathrobes.
Probably.
I told you, teeny boppers.
Yeah, it's kids in bathrobes. My goodness.
Keep it together, Stella.
So presumably this is some sort of overcome.
Yeah.
At this
You
point.
want to tear through the floor? It's an overcome.
Yeah.
Overcome the floor.
Yeah. So
I was thinking that.
remember
Happy birthday to the ground.
how
I do remember
at the very beginning of this,
the very first
you-
day of September.
Yeah. You were like, this is not how buildings work in your mind.
Right.
Well, I know this isn't how buildings should work,
Right.
and I know what can go wrong with them.
Right. If you don't
because-
have enough construction
Right.
material here,
So using knowledge from my home time,
Sure.
I know this is not how floors should work and how to overcome a floor that is made this way.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
That's great.
So, using my principle of the time traveler,
Yeah.
I'm going to overcome a problem using knowledge from my home era and use my max die. You and each of your allies gain a hero point.
Nice. Did you gain the hero point from when I did too?
Yeah, you guys
Everyone
should, but
did
this
that?
should be the third hero point
Yes.
that all y'all are getting
Yeah.
for this session. Because you erased all your hero points at the beginning of the...
Nice. We're getting up there.
Yeah. So this
Gotta
is
get that
my
5.
this is my power suit punching down into
Sure.
like basically trying to wrench.
So you're
through
punching
this.
through the horde. You're not jumping through the floor. You're punching through the floor.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean down
Sure.
and punch because I wanna do that cool hero pose,
Yeah.
hero
Yeah.
landing.
Yeah.
You're not jumping in the air and then punching down as you fall.
Oh, you should do that.
That's a.
I'm
oh,
just I'm just saying.
like
I'm just
that was
saying.
implied.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought you were trying to. Everybody else here wasn't getting that, but you and I, we were on the same
Exactly.
Is
page.
everyone prepared to land cool? I just want to make sure we're
Yeah.
all.
I was born to land cool.
All right.
And this is. I wish I could use technology here. I don't think I can. I think I can use ahead of my time here, though.
Since you're principal,
Right.
Sure.
I mean, I could use history here as well if you want.
I like history a bit more, actually. This is
Well,
a good.
It just so happens that they're both a D8.
That's fine. I'm just wanting to do like.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing is, in this case, you're specifically not ahead of your time. You're like, floors would never work this way. I genuinely hope you roll a 1 on 1 on a 3 like last time, because you're like, floors don't work this way. This is not structurally sound. But you're wrong. They are totally structurally sound. You could drive a forklift on this building if it weren't for the fact that like it's actually taken a ton of damage.
All right.
But anyway, yeah.
And
we'll
I have
see
a
what
D8
happens.
status die.
Yeah.
So, and I'm using my max on this.
Roll high. 1, 1, and a 2.
Oh my god.
It's Christmas.
Oh, okay.
This is great.
Use your collected trade.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I could max. I could max out that D10.
You could max a single die in the die pool, and since you're using your max, normally that wouldn't help you in a 1-1-2 situation.
Yeah.
But since you are using your max die,
time
so
for it.
tell me about how in your backstory. So you go and you're like going to punch to this floor, and you, as you're doing so, this makes something. You recall something from your backstory that relates to this.
This is like hearkening back to the very first time that I considered using some sort of exoskeleton sort of structure. I didn't have a suit that I built when I was like in my own time. Like
But you had mechanical labor enhancers.
Right, absolutely. And the very first time that I was like, I've got these, basically I had a leg exoskeleton sort of thing that was very heavy. And I discovered as I was like jumping up onto my roof to test these out the first time.
Oh boy.
That unless I landed exactly where the joists were and all that important stuff, then like anything, they just caved in the center. And so that's what I'm doing here. I'm aiming.
You're specifically, in your backstory, you're like, I'll jump up on top of my house. And you fall in the house. You're like, well, that's test number 1, Mark. And now you're like, I'll jump up on top of my house again.
Yeah. So this is the situation. This time I'm specifically aiming for that point that I know is the least supported in
Love
there.
it.
And
you
so
get a 10.
I'm using my collected trade there. Check that off.
Yep.
To turn that into a 10. And so now I get to use my max die, and that is it's actually only a 7.
Is it 10 then? So you succeed, but with a minor twist. 4 through 7?
Oh, 4 through 7. Yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7 is succeed, but with a minor twist.
So, can we use my principle of the time traveler minor twist, which is what detail of this era did you not previously know about?
Yeah, I'm great with that. This is perfect. So you're like, it's just like jumping on the roof of my house that was built over 100 years ago. I'm going to jump on the roof of this thing, it'll be fine. What you didn't know about was cross pieces. And you're going to take 3 damage that's irreducible. You're going to actually take the 3 damage.
Okay.
You lose 3 health
Yeah.
as you fall to the floor, and you're like, this is much more painful than the last time I fell through a roof.
I didn't know about rebar is what you're saying.
And as you do so, you and the rest of your teammates, as the whole floor, the whole ceiling of the building floor that you're standing on falls away, and you land in a room and you land in this large wood-floored, wood-paneled room with weird magic stuff all over the place. There's still a few sigils that are firing in this room alone, and there's a large one in the middle of the room on the floor, around which stand 3 figures, and we're gonna go to the tablet. We're gonna look at the screen. 3 figures standing in this room, doing some sort of summoning ritual. And they pay you no mind as they continue chanting.
Do you know these people?
Adam Rabataro knows these people, but none of you probably are.
Can we call him?
Yeah.
Can we call them?
That looks gorgeous.
Yeah, right?
Really, really good.
Yeah, so here, let's go back to that art.
Pretty great.
Let's go back to that art. That's great, yeah, so,
Yeah. That's
like,
pretty great.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Too close.
like,
Fun little things to steal off the wall.
Yeah.
When this is all
Very
done.
nice.
all right, so, there's 3 figures here, 3 slight cylinder figures that are all chanting, and like they're all like reading from books or scraps of paper, and like Korilati, Mura.
Yeah, no, I don't know them.
Nilo.
I showed, hey, Your parents don't get out past 10?
And they ignore you. They ignored you falling through the ceiling, and they ignore you they're chanting.
Come on, nothing? that was pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Those are paying no attention.
And then the figure in the middle with the jet black skin and the orange hair says a few final syllables and says Kalima as a few final syllables and walks around the sigil to look at the four of you that are like getting up off the ground.
To get that reference?
Yeah, I am. I don't know what you're talking about.
And it walks around and looks at you four
Sorry.
and says, "You've arrived, but too late. You spent too much time goofing around in the tower."
I'm gonna hit him. I'm gonna hit him.
Yeah, what are you doing here in our arcane sanctum? This is our own tower that we have warded with our magical powers, for we are truly the most powerful. We are called the Vandals. I am Stygian, and these are my cohorts who are still chanting behind him. My cohorts, Inductor, the woman of steel, and Tear, the woman of bone. Pray that you don't have to face them, for they're very powerful. Much like me, I'm very powerful. I'm good at magic.
You know,
You're good at
people
magic.
who are really powerful usually don't have to say they're really powerful.
I just want to make sure you know that I'm very
Right,
powerful.
but yeah, I'm just saying that you could probably...
Shut up. Shut up, this is my room.
What are you doing?
Need I remind you that the Vandals no longer exist for good reason?
No, not those Vandals. We're new, different Vandals with our own powers. They're very strong.
Your reign will be shorter.
Your reign is actually attached to her. Ooh, you don't even know what I'm talking about, but I do. You hung out with my sigils way too long. Anyway, like I was saying, you all feel. What?
I said you're not even saying it right. Any of the things.
They worked. And
You're not saying it right. That's so
Exactly.
what are we gonna do here? He's gonna roll Infernal and Magical Lore, and he's in the yellow zone because the scene's in the yellow zone. And you taunt at him about his pronunciation of the things, and he's like, "Ugh," and he waves his hand at you, and you feel your blood twist in your veins. And I rolled a 1, a 3, and a 5, but he takes his max plus his min die, and he does 6 damage to you. And as he does so, he pulls magical energy from you. He's stealing some energy from you, and he pulls it from you, and as it gets, you feel it like get about halfway between him and you, and he slaps his hand at it. It creates a barrier, an arcane barrier across the middle of the room between the four of you and the three of them.
I don't like this.
Of course you don't. It's because you are a mere neophyte in the magical ways. And means. Committee. And with that, he's going to pass it. And with that, the two of them finish their chanting behind him, and the one that looks like she's made out of bone, that's there with the purple hair and all the belts, approaches him and lays her long, bony, like actually made of bone, fingers on his shoulder and says, "It is done. The summoning is complete." She sounds like bone rubbing on bone for her voice. It's awful.
Weird.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm just making sure. I'm just making sure.
Extended conversation with her.
And then Inductor, the lady with the black dress and the actual steel skin, snaps her fingers, and the three of them start sinking into the floor.
Where you going? Don't come back.
Listen, you do not want to be there, friend. I've been there.
They're not friends. God.
As they sink into the floor, and the two of you, especially you're very aware that as they're sinking into the floor, they're not actually sinking into the floor. They are teleporting out. They are teleporting away. Using teleportation is very different than yours, but it appears as they sink into the floor, they're appearing somewhere else far away. And as they sink through the floor, something else starts rising up out of that summoning sigil in the middle of the room. And we are going to, yeah, this is fine. This is great. So is that something else is coming up? Where did I put it? Go. The next thing. Ah!
Oh,
Out
that thing.
of the floor rises this fiery, demonic creature. You all feel a sting in your nostrils, and as this bursts up out of the floor, it destroys the arcane barrier that's between you and where the vandals were. It begins laughing in this deep voice, and fire rolls across the entire room, and it says, "I am free!"
All right.
This is one of my oldest
my
jokes, and it is back to haunt you all.
Oh my god.
The dreaded pepper genie. It is a genie that has been summoned from a realm of fire and chaos. And you can see, look at its head, look at its face, the pepper genie.
Looks like a pepper. Yep.
It is the pepper genie.
Actually looks really cool.
It looks super cool. Even Adam, who hates my stupid joke, has to
hate that
admit
stupid joke.
that the
That was
pepper
really cool.
genie is in fact awesome and fearsome and cool in every way and not at all dumb.
Oh boy.
Still dumb. Looks
Yeah.
cool, still dumb.
This is
great.
my curse. This is my curse.
Great. I'm ready.
The pepper genie is
I'll
summoned.
agree that this looks cool if you agree that Progeny's head looks cool.
Progeny's head sometimes looks cool.
All right, there we go.
So he announced his name.
You, Violet Heart, are aware of this entity, of this sort of entity. This is a pepper genie from the realm of fire.
Yep.
Yeah, you know that. You know what a pepper genie is because everybody knows about pepper genies
Yes.
and the realm of fire.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
Common knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely. You know about the pepper
Just
genie.
like, oh my god, you guys haven't met this guy? You've never.
Well, not
never
this one
seen-
specifically.
No,
There's
Is he
lots of.
hot
There are
wishes?
many pepper genies,
Does
of
he grant
course.
hot wishes?
Hot spicy wishes. If you wish something with a pepper genie, it's like that wish was not hot enough. You're burned. You have to make sure the wish is hot.
Okay, gotta make him hot.
Yeah, but this one is already has already it's here. It is here to destroy you. The vandals have bargained
Okay.
with it in some way.
Okay.
Wonderful.
So yeah, pepper genie. It's here. I need to write a card for it, obviously.
Can one of you figure out, like, because every genie has like a shackle on it of some sort.
Yeah.
Can one of you two like figure out what this
Pepper
shackle
genie.
is?
Get in his brain. Get in his brain.
Telepathy.
Yeah.
That's gonna go well.
You're gonna telepathize a genie.
That's all right. It's fine.
We're in the beginning of a new round.
She's
Yeah.
from the cosmos.
The pepper genie is going to, after it does its laughing and shadows the barrier, it is going to breathe out a gout of flame, of hot, spicy fire breath, in fact.
Oh my god, this is too weird.
If you couldn't
You
hear
doubt
that,
my
if you
power!
couldn't hear
a
that
huge
at home, there's a
boom
huge
of
thunder
thunder.
right there.
Yeah.
Thunderclap.
Wow. Is it still storming above the
Yes,
building?
the storm
Yeah.
continues.
The
Can't you
storm
hear
is
it?
not
Should give
bad,
a song.
I'm just waiting to get struck by lightning.
Oh my god,
It's
will that
highly
like, just
likely.
charge you up? Like,
No.
that's not how that works.
Can you like?
That seems like it should work that way.
You should
That's not
use your
science.
thing to create the fact for doing that.
All right,
That was
I have to
good, but
take
you had
damage.
to.
here comes the thing. So the pepper genie breathes fire at all of you, and you all take 6 fire damage as the pepper genie breathes its hot, spicy fire breath on you, and then continues laughing.
Does it happen to hinder me also?
It does not hinder you with that, no. Maybe later, but not that time.
Does it have any bonuses on it?
No, it does not.
Dang it.
It is new to this world. The pepper genie, you will taste of the bite of my spicy fire.
I could use sugar sway.
Sugar sweet. No, I am spicy and hot, not sugar. Ugh.
Yeah.
Gross. It'll pass it to you.
Me?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So I can't. So we're at this point where I'm in the red now, so I could use sugar sway, which lets me select a minion. That minion is now.
It is not a
entirely-
minion.
Dang it.
Mhm.
Dang it.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, lieutenant.
Hang on.
Is it a lieutenant?
It is a lieutenant.
Tender yourself using.
Were you gonna try to take over the mind of the
I
thing?
did want to take over the pepper
Well, this is
genie.
why you cannot take over the pepper genie.
Yeah. All right. I guess I'm gonna use Heartstorm. Attack
Heartstorm.
using Zesty Blood.
Yeah.
And use your max die.
Run up and stab a
I'm gonna
pepper genie.
stab the pepper genie.
sounds
Because I don't have
great.
any way to like get in his his brain or anything. I think that maybe that might be the thing to do based on what Dynamo mentioned about.
Yeah.
He read.
Dynamo didn't say anything. Dynamo doesn't know anything about genies.
You don't know anything about genies? Okay. Well, first I'm gonna then say, like, listen, every genie is attached to something. They have to have something over him. Yeah, I'm telling you this. They have to have something over him. It's a photo. It's a lamp.
Photo?
I don't know. Something. It could be anything.
Yeah.
They're
the genie.
It's
Take a selfie with it.
They're
That'll defeat it.
They're blackmailing him. Is what I'm trying to tell you. No, but there's something.
I mean,
we need to
it is
figure
a
out.
pretty cool
Those
photo.
things
It's
around his
really cool.
neck.
Super awesome. Oh yeah,
So-
those are little pepper discs.
Yeah,
okay.
there's little jalapenos. Look at his little belly.
I like his face.
I like his belly.
I like that he has the pepper hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pepper hat's real
This
nice.
art's super great.
It is really good.
Yeah.
It's scary.
This is
Okay, so
This
I'm
is the
gonna-
coolness of the pepper genie in my mind. I finally found an artist that would be willing to create the pepper genie for
God.
me.
For genie.
Okay,
This is a
so
joke from like 2013, I think.
That's maybe before that.
Yeah.
I'm using Zesty Blood, Magical Lore, and I'm in red, so it's
Put on like exam gloves so that you don't have to.
If you touch your eyes after you
capsize.
stab this thing,
Yeah.
it's gonna be so bad.
I'm not afraid of it. I already have gloves on. Look.
Oh, that's true, you do.
Put gloves
I
over your
rock-
gloves to protect those gloves.
Gloves on gloves on gloves.
Wow.
So use your max die, which is a 10.
Oh yeah, thank God. Yeah, 10. But I'm hindered by 3.
All right, so you do 7 damage
7
to it.
damage.
All right, so it rolls its defense against the 7. The pepper genie takes no damage, and you hit it at close range. So your minimum die, which is only a 1, you take you take fire damage to a total of 1. But your -3 is gone though.
Yay.
This sucks.
If
I'm
you
in such bad shape.
if you hit the pepper genie at close range, you will burn as its pepper spray hits you.
I just like. ugh.
So mad.
So
Pepper
upset.
genie, the genie of peppers.
Ray, do you wanna?
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
All right,
Okay,
Stella
so-
Nova,
Look
take
how
over.
cool he looks. I've been just like so excited about this art for days now.
Ridiculous.
Okay, so what I want to do
Yes.
is use my telepathy to get into the mind of the genie.
All right.
And use
This is a great
my-
idea.
I love it.
Use my persuasion or my charm. I have both.
Sure. I think this is persuasion more than charm, because charm is like something you do somebody's face to face. Charming somebody from inside their brain.
That's not how
But
that works.
persuasion,
Persuasion.
Yeah.
Use my persuasion to get the genie to let me know of
Yeah, you wanna-
any weak points that
Mhm.
she have.
They
have.
Yeah.
So
All right.
that's what I want to do. Telepathy
It's gonna go great.
This is
is
fantastic.
D6.
Yeah.
Here for this.
Persuasion D8.
Now hold on. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'm just making sure your powers are no longer downgraded in case that nobody remembered that. But yeah. And are
then
you in the
I'm
red or
in-
the yellow zone?
Yellow zone.
Okay. There we go. All right. So you roll a 4, and a 10. So your mid's a 4, which means you succeed with the minor twist. Stella Nova, tell me about your minor twists. Yeah. That's great. Do you have a story you want to tell me about either of those, or?
I don't.
Okay, fantastic.
one.
Yeah, this is great. So what unintended ripple did your action have? And that's fantastic. So you reach into the mind of the pepper genie, and it's warm in there. It's hot. Your skin feels burny, and like inside the mind of the pepper genie. But when you're in there, you're digging through its mind, and you find that a pepper genie can only be summoned by someone who is experiencing like extreme spiciness in the moment that they're doing the summoning. They have to eat very spicy food before doing the summoning, and that when that person who's experienced that spiciness, when the spiciness finally fades from their system, this genie is free to do as he will. And so this genie was summoned, and part of what they did with it as part of this summoning spell, this ritual they did, was they specifically held the genie in stasis. They summoned the genie very easily. That chanting and that sigil that they had was holding the genie in stasis until they were ready to disappear, having left the genie unshackled behind. So the genie is currently not being commanded by anyone. The genie has just been set free here. But it does have to follow certain genie rules, and if it could be convinced to leave this realm because there's nothing holding it here.
But also, maybe we get some spicy food.
Ooh.
Eat that, see if it'll.
I'm down for spicy food.
Listen, we're in Mexico.
That said, there is a minor twist here. The unintended consequences. You rooting around in the head of the pepper genie, it ends up like allowing the pepper genie to realize what's happened to it, that it is free here, and it gives it a boost. You rolled a 4 and a 10, so it gives it a +2 boost to its next action because it's like, I am free. There's nothing holding me here.
I like that it has a boost.
Finally, Adam's having something I'm doing here.
Finally.
Took all session. All right, who do you want to pass it to? You can pass it to the Arcane Tower, you can pass it to Starblight or Dynamo, and those are your options.
Starblight.
Yeah. Let me do this, because I'm in the red zone. I'm going to use my Shared Affliction. So, this is my red zone ability.
Yeah.
One of them. I get to remove a bonus on a target. It happens to have a bonus. I hinder that target using deep space knowledge and use my max die, and that penalty is persistent. So, I am
Nice.
taking its benefit.
Yeah.
And I am bringing upon it the weight of the knowledge of the cosmos.
Oh, yeah.
That is the most edgelord thing.
Oh yeah, no, I would tell him. Yeah. Like, these are the things that not only man should not know, a genie should not know.
Right.
Here, take that.
Yeah, right. All right,
Yeah.
all right. So you're using your D6 knowledge, which is a D10. What power are you using here?
I am using probably.
I can make a case for intuition.
I was thinking intuition,
that you're like-
or infernal energy was either or, but like intuition's probably right. Yeah, and then my
D8 for red zone. Yeah.
D8. Yeah,
All right. And use your max die
I use my max die, which is a 7.
as a 7. 4 through 7 is a -2.
Yeah, and actually I'm going to use my
Oh.
+3
Nice.
on that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's a 10 total.
That makes it a -3, and it's a -3 persistent.
Persistent.
Which is
Nice.
huge.
Yeah.
Usually you need to declare your bonuses before rolling, but it's fine.
Oh,
It's fine.
okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's like you have boosting. Your hinders and your boosts, especially your hero point ones. You've got to like invoke them in the scene because it's not just like, I get a +3. Tell me what
why.
from last session you have, and so we can still do this in post. It's a
Okay.
good learning opportunity.
Yeah.
But tell me why from last session you have a +3 on this action.
Okay. I am informing it basically of the dire state of the cosmos for having unleashed this great
This laser
creature
dragon,
out into there. I'm like, check this out. All of existence is in peril of being destroyed, and that includes you, buddy.
Right.
Face your doom.
You were inside that laser dragon,
Yeah.
and now you're putting all of your knowledge of that inside this pepper genie.
Right. Yeah. You think you're immortal? Well, now face your mortality.
The pepper genie
Yeah.
looks
You don't like that.
actually afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's my turn.
All right. You can pass it
I've shown
To-
it.
Passing it to the tower.
to Dynamo or a building.
Let's give it to Dynamo.
All right.
Yeah.
So, I have, first of all, gained a lot of arcane experience. Not necessarily knowledge, but arcane experience, and I'm a little bit more I have a little bit more internal fortitude when it comes to facing magic at this point. So this is all to justify using one of my +1 bonuses.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
of what magic is a thing that you've not really considered much at all.
Right.
And in the last few hours, you consider magic a lot.
Right.
So this gives you a +1 to the thing you're doing.
So I'm going to use my kinetic redistributor
Okay.
ability.
Sure.
Basically, I have been soaking up all sorts of energy over the course of this. I've been.
Are you in the red zone?
Yeah, I am at 7.
Ooh, you took a bunch of damage. That's surprising for you.
Yeah, it's unusual. Well,
Yeah.
it's because it hasn't been. There's been non-physical damage, and so I'm using my red zone ability of my kinetic redistributor to take all of that energy that I've been sucking in and all the heat that is in here.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna boost myself using my power suit. I'm gonna basically put this energy to work. I'm gonna boost using my power suit.
Okay.
And using my max die, and that bonus is persistent.
Yeah, it is.
So I've got my power suit here.
Okay.
This is definitely technology at this point.
Sure.
And it's only a d6 for my red status die. My max is a 9, but I boosted it to +1. So my max
10.
is actually going to be a 10.
Right. It's a +3, and it's a persistent bonus.
Yes, persistent +3. And now...
Hold on, real quick.
Yeah.
What is this boost that you've created for yourself here? Like, because whenever we create a boost for a hero, we're gonna put it on a card. You're gonna have that thing. What is this boost that you've made here? What is this? In what way have you charged yourself up here? Do you understand the magical energy that's in this room to the point that you're like actually drawing on that for power, or?
No,
Okay.
but I have modulated all of the kinetic energy that's now flowing back through my suit that I've absorbed. I've modulated it to better replicate that magical energy.
Okay.
Like, it's not magical.
Sure.
But it has...
Like a
it's
simulacrum of magic.
Yeah, it's like a magic facsimile,
Okay.
kind of.
All right.
Like,
So what are we gonna name this boost? It's a +3 persistent boost. What's it called?
we will call this my pseudo-arcane infusion.
There we go.
Hey. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Pseudo-arcane infusion.
All right. There you go.
Thank you. Now, I'm not done.
No, because now you get to attack using
Yeah.
the mid die that you rolled,
Yeah.
which is an 8.
It's just an 8.
Plus that bonus you just gained,
Yeah.
which is a 3. So you do 11 damage to this pepper genie, which
Yeah.
rolls its d10 and it has a -3 permanently to everything
Yeah.
it does, unless it does something to get rid of that -3.
Yeah.
And it, sure enough, can't beat an 11. It got real close, but it rolled a 5
Yeah.
ultimately after the minus. So
Yeah.
it is, you damage it, you
This
reduce
guy
it.
blasts some of that pseudo-arcane energy back at it.
What's your min die there?
2.
You take 2 fire damage.
Okay. That hurts.
The split pepper skin ability.
Welcome to this world. Oh no.
I am a genie. Who would treat me so poorly? Also, why is everything so scary here? Did I have to think about space and stuff? Have you thought about space? Oh man! Oh boy! Oh man! The realm of fire. In the realm of fire, we don't have space. Is the thing. It's way better. Ah boy. I mean, hot, spicy, scary things. Ah. All right. All right.
So that's the tower then, right?
Yeah,
You were the last
it has
one?
to be the tower.
Gotta be the tower. And this is so exciting that I get to do this thing. You guys are all really surprised, startled, when... And you can tell that it's the exact same impossum that was there before. Comes running up the stair because it has an ability as a lieutenant called Play Dead that when it dies, the next round it comes back at full die size. Once. So they only do it the once.
Okay.
But all the stuff you did to it definitely happens. It's got the fists in the side of it. It's got a cut that goes all the way around it from zesty blood. It's all messed up. It's like, ah! And it comes running up the stairs. Its tail snaking along behind it.
This is like the possum.
Yeah, and it's like, ah! And it's there. It's there.
It
It's
embodies
excited.
everything a possum is.
It's excited to be there. There we go. That's the end of the
grotesque
round. So the arcane tower is going to pass it to the possum, who has just entered the scene and is going to run up, and it's going to bite Maggie. It remembers. It's going to bite Violet Heart.
Yeah.
It remembers that
Specifically
that
Maggie.
Violet Heart. No, it is going to run. It's going to go all the way to St. Louis. Here comes the door. Oh no, Maggie! So gross.
Wouldn't be the first time.
So gross. And when it attacks, when it also attacks, it also hinders. So it rolls a 1.
Nice.
You take 1 chompy damage, and you have a -1 to the next thing you do. Man, this possum has never rolled well. It's
It
great.
doesn't do physical damage, it does choppy damage?
Chompy. Chompy damage is physical.
Oh, okay.
And then the pepper genie gets passed to, who has a permanent -3, which is really harsh in my style here. And it uses its Seeds of Chaos action. It reaches its fists into its little belly button. You can see it's got that little pocket there. It drives both of its hands into its belly button,
Oh, I don't like
grabs
that.
handfuls of something, and throws it out into the room.
Ooh, I'm
It
uncomfortable.
rolls a 2. And it throws a handful of nothing. It's like, what? My seeds.
2 minus
All of my
3.
little seeds. It rolls a 2 -3, and it creates no minions for itself.
Thank God.
Great.
Don't worry about that, I guess. All right. That's okay. The impossum's going to end up being the big bad of this tower.
Right now it's stronger.
Yep. They're both D8 lieutenants. One of them has a permanent -3. The other one has a scar that runs around its entire body, a big chunk punched out of the side of it, and an infinitely long tail.
Oh no, it's infinitely long?
I mean, sure.
Who knows? Like,
It's an unknowably long tail.
Okay.
When it's
there we
when
go.
it's alive, its tail's unknowably long.
That's
they're
great.
lieutenants, not minions, right?
Right. Stop it.
I wanted to glitter bomb.
You may not glitter bomb my impossum or my pepper genie. I fought too hard for these things. I don't have art for the impossum because it didn't exist before a few hours ago. I had art for the pepper genie because that's been planned for weeks,
Like
months.
literally any image of a possum could work.
Yeah, this is what they all look like.
It's just a regular possum.
Right. All right, so with that, we'll go ahead and pass to Violet Heart.
Okay,
You seem so disappointed.
They can't do anything. My stupid lieutenant babies, so useless.
I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna Rage Ribbons or Blood Wave.
Oh man, with choices like that, how do you pick?
Well, Rage Ribbons lets me actually do damage. Blood Wave will only hinder.
Bloodwave is yet another band name that's going to be formed, you realize?
Yes. All right,
that's the
I'm
type of
gonna
damage
use
that-
Blood Wave because
Yes.
we'll hinder and then someone else can come in for the attack. Okay. So Blood Wave is hinder using Zesty Blood and apply that mod to multiple close targets.
You can get into a position where both the pepper genie and the impossum are close enough to affect.
Yeah.
this.
So what this is though?
Okay,
What
tell me
this
about this blood wave.
is that Zesty Blood constantly drips, right?
Yeah.
But it also
We
constantly
know.
collects as it stabs things. As it stabbed the impossum, it took some of its blood, and that's why it has this constant flowing supply. And it will just unleash blood.
So it'll stop dripping then because it'll be out of blood.
No, it always drips.
Okay.
There
plenty
is
of blood.
centuries.
I made it stop dripping last sessions.
Centuries worth of blood drip
Okay, all right.
coming at
So
you.
it's not unleashing all of its blood, just a lot of its blood.
Like a
so you're
good
pointing the
amount.
dagger out and blood's coming out of it like a hose or
no,
what?
it's like a fan. Like I
Oh, you're
spin
doing
in a
the- you're
circle.
schwa,
Yeah,
and it
I
flew.
spin in a circle,
Okay.
and you guys might get a little splattered.
It's a little zesty.
So it's a little zesty. Well, the pepper chili will like it then.
You will.
So that's a D10, and then magical lore D10, and then I am also at a D10.
All right.
His name is Ron.
All right, so
This is really gross. Yeah.
hinder using Zesty Blood and apply that mod to multiple close targets.
So you take your mid die, which is a 7, so it's a minus 2.
minus 1.
7? 7's a minus 2.
Oh, sorry, I have a -1.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's still a 6, which is still a
Yeah.
minus 2. So you have a minus 2 that gets applied to both the pepper genie, oh come on, and the impossum.
Does that go away now?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, it's been used up. All right, who do you want to pass it to?
I'm gonna hinder some more if you.
Do we want to attack or we want to just keep hindering? Well, you're gonna heal as we hinder, right?
Yeah.
We might as well.
Like,
Hot spicy fire.
I don't care about anything other than having the killing blow on this thing because I already have a line for it.
Oh, okay. All right, so we might as well let Starblight get some out of it. Yeah.
Pepper genie right now has a minus 2 and a minus 3 on it. I don't know if those are things that you can manipulate.
I don't think I can manipulate hindrances
Okay.
already on them. I can take away their boosts, but
Yeah, okay.
or if they inflict it on me, then that's good. Yeah, so I'm going to suck some energy out of the pepper genie.
You're going to feed the blade.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep, I'm gonna feed that blade.
okay. This pepper genie is going to be so hindered.
And this one, like, I'm gonna go like, hey, you like things hot, and use infernal energy
Okay.
to do it.
This is great.
No, I have to use Starblight. Never mind.
Good story, though.
Yeah.
You can still say that.
Right.
And I'd be
can
like, I
still
don't know
say
how
it.
this
You like
applies.
it hot, right?
I mean, I do, yes.
But it did, yeah.
How do you like them elephants?
Right.
That makes exactly as much sense.
I really like, I'm glad this session is going this way because a lot of people are like, why would I ever use any action other than attack? It's like, because, anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm like
No,
all
it's-
hinder right now. And it's been incredibly beneficial.
So you could use Blood Wave. Duh.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna use finesse on that because I'm not stabbing him with this. I'm manipulating the energy down and sucking
Sure.
from across the thing. Yep. And then D8 for my status die. Not good. But
What is your mid?
the mid is a 3.
So you've got a minus 1 on the pepper genie, and then what is your min?
And min is a 2.
So you regain 2
you have
health.
2 hit points, yeah. Not horrible. I like that.
The
Not
arcane
even,
tower did not mark off last turn.
even
sorry.
a bad roll is not horrible. So
All right,
yeah.
cool. And who do you want to pass it to? Stella Nova.
Yeah.
Stella Nova, things have gotten real goofy.
Yeah.
You're in this tower, there's magic, weird stuff all around. There's this big pepper genie that seems very afraid now, and is also like, its soul has been damaged and it's got blood dripping all over it. It's like, this is not what I signed up for at all. Also, there's this weird, crazy opossum that seems like it's having a really good time. The opossum, which is stabbed and punched and maybe undead right now, and also covered in weird blood, is loving it.
He's like splashing
He's
around.
so
in the
happy.
blood.
He's
He's like, yes, I do.
That's great.
The more
Okay,
it's
so-
liking it, the worse things are. Though.
Since I saw the pepper genie reach into
Into itself for something.
itself,
Yeah,
I'm aware that that's trouble. There's something in
there's
there.
something in there.
So I want to use my lunar beam to cast out this light into the belly button.
Okay.
And turn its insides and pull out.
Oh, gross.
Oh, you want to core the pepper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just core out that pepper. That sounds great. That sounds
Yeah,
great.
let's do that.
Yeah, roll for it. Roll
right.
so it's an attack.
Yes. D10.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a D12. I am in the yellow zone, D8.
Yep. And what is your quality that you're using here?
Magical lore,
Okay.
D10.
Sure. All right.
That was bad.
Yeah, it sure was. So you attack and you take your mid. You rolled a 1, a 1, and a 3. So your attack is a 1.
Do you have your boost?
Let's see what it rolls though, because it's only a D8 and it has a total of -6 right now. It's got a -3 permanently because it's worried about space. It's not really had to think about space before, it's real worried about space. Also, it's got a -1 because its very soul has been damaged in some way, which is again not a thing it's really ever thought about before. Additionally, it's covered in weird zesty blood, so it's another -2. So total -6. So if this guy rolls if the ultimate result is 0 or lower, the 1 will succeed against it. Which is very possible.
Yeah.
It rolls a 7.
Oh no.
It's a -6. It's got a 1. It succeeds on its save, and it's the fact that it succeeds on a save makes it go, you know, I'm not too worried about my soul or about this blood, but space. Let me tell you, buddy, still real worried about space.
Super strong.
Have you thought about space? Oh,
I think I spend all the time. I'm just letting you know.
I wish you hadn't said anything. This poor Pepper Genie. I'm feeling for him. This is my next character. I have the art for my next character from the next time I play an RPG. I'm just gonna be that guy.
Oh, God. I'm not playing with you anymore.
Nice, I win. Who are you gonna pass it to? I think your options
It's
are
Craig.
Dynamo.
Yeah.
Dynamo.
And also Dynamo.
I'm getting worried about you a little bit.
That's real fair.
So I'm also getting worried about me, which is like legit as well because I have 5 health. So I'm gonna throw myself like over toward you and like throw up a wall of steel, and like this is pseudo arcanely infused steel now. So I'm gonna use my wall of steel here to defend using my power suit, and I can defend another target with my min die.
Oh, nice.
So my power suit's D10. My technology is, technology makes sense here. And a D6. For this bonus, that applies to whatever my final result is on my mid die, right?
You choose which die you want to apply it to.
Oh, okay.
So because you have 2 effect dice for this, so you roll triples. But so your min, mid, and max are all 3. But in this case, you care for this action that you're taking. You care about your mid die and your min die, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you can choose. You choose which one you want to apply the bonus to.
I'm actually worse off than you are right now.
Amazing.
I just killed myself.
So why don't you be defended with 3,
Okay.
and I'll be defended with 6.
Okay.
So the next time either of you would take damage, it's reduced by that much, unless we get around to the start of Craig's turn and that hasn't come up, in which case they both fizzle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can.
You're at the beginning of the round. You can pass it to anybody you want. You shouldn't. You can't pass it to yourself.
Yeah. I shouldn't pass it to myself.
But also you can't.
yeah.
Adam, a thing that I noticed in this art, you can look here. His shoulder, he's got a little pepper.
Oh, no.
He's got a little pepper tattoo on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a thing.
Oh my gosh, just
That's really cool.
so great.
That's pretty fun.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. Does anybody have anything in particular they would like to
I'm
do?
gonna do more hindrance.
Do you want to pour more hindrances on?
Yep.
Yeah.
I would different
it
kind.
seemed like we need to attack this thing at some point, and I know you did, and
I
did
will
horribly.
too, probably this time.
You will?
I will this time, so he should hinder before I
Yeah,
attack.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
do one that gives me a boost, and that will let me hit, attack both.
Why
of them
don't you
next
go
time,
then?
too, so.
Yeah.
Starblight, do your thing.
Yeah, so I'm going to, you know what? Like I actually like stab my sword into the ground,
Sure.
and then infernal energy just starts arcing off of me.
Sure, normal
towards
stuff.
things.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna channel that towards the impossum. And do miasmation. So I'm gonna boost myself and use my max die, and then I hinder that nearby opponent
With your
my
min die.
Min die.
Okay.
Yes.
Roll for it. And you currently don't have any boosts or hindrances, right? Any bonuses or penalties?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I have some defense, but
Yeah. So you're using infernal energy, which is a D8,
Yeah.
and then for your quality,
probably living weapon.
Sounds
'cause
great.
I'm just channeling all
Yep,
of
yep.
my.
you are the sword.
Yeah. Hey, I'll take that.
That's good.
What'd you roll?
My max die is a 6, and
And then-
then I roll 2 5s.
Great. So your min's a 5 and your max is a 6.
Yep.
That means that you boost yourself for 2, and you hinder the impossum for another 2. So it's
Yeah.
got a -4 to the next thing it does.
Nice.
Cool.
All right. And who do you want to pass it
You're
to?
gonna attack, yeah?
Yeah, I'm gonna attack.
Go
Do the
for it.
thing.
All right, Violet Heart.
I'm gonna, let's see, which ones makes more sense. I'm gonna rage ribbons. So I'm gonna attack up to 3 targets using telekinesis, applying your min die against each, and then I'm gonna boost it using I'm gonna use my +2.
Sure. So tell me about what this is.
So I use, oh, this is supposed to be from my past issue. It can't be from earlier in this.
It's from the
session.
last issue.
Last
It's
issue.
from last session.
Yeah. Okay. So I used my ribbons before.
You did use your rage ribbon last session against the
And-
wisps.
Yeah, against the wisps, and I was like, this doesn't work so well against those as much. But like these guys are physical. Like I
Yeah.
have touched them already. I've stabbed them.
Yeah.
Coated them in my presence. My
Just blood.
my
Blood.
blood.
Yeah.
Say the word blood.
Anything else you would say is worse. Just keep going.
And so like I'm kind of realizing like my ribbons work really well against these type of creatures.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's great.
cool. Okay.
So you have a +2 to this action.
okay, so it's a D6, a D10, and then I'm gonna use magical lore, so another D10.
Great. And with rage ribbons,
3. Good old 3.
sorry, here you go. Rage ribbons, min die against each. So yeah, 3. Your effect is a 1, but you have a +2, so it's a good thing you use that +3. So first off, the impossum is a D8, and it's got a -4.
Yeah.
It rolls an 8.
Oh.
And in the process, it dodges the ribbons. Wah! And in the process of dodging the ribbons, it shakes all the blood off of itself. It's like a little puppy. It's having a great time.
Miasma turns to like infernal.
It
dust.
eat it.
Oh, ew.
Yeah, the miasma's like rotated, and it goes,
Like a gecko.
yeah, and it just, and it's like, and he's just wiggling.
Just having the best time.
Yeah, he's just gonna chomp all of you. Gonna be nice. The pepper genie has a -3, and it's defending against a 3. Pepper genie's worse at things than impossums. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Pepper genie, actually, the ribbons slash into it and slice it up. It's like, oh no!
Why
What?
does it hurt here?
Right. The pepper genie is having such a terrible time. It's not as cool as an impossum.
It's just not.
I just don't know what arts to commission. And it's like, can we get this really cool pepper genie? It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be this cool, like, big come back to fight. It's like, yeah, we could, but also, have you considered this weird possum creature?
Possums are better. I'm gonna pass.
Pepper genie's got way better abilities than the possum. Okay, anyway, Stella Nova.
Okay.
being one of them.
You need to get like a
I'm-
K-pop album that you bring around with you
Oh my god.
for when you do ribbon rage.
Yeah.
Rage ribbon.
No.
Rage ribbons.
I want
I
to
could
try to
build in a
use
tape
my principle of the indestructible.
Okay.
And
What thing are you trying to overcome here? Because the principles, when you're trying to overcoming is trying to overcome some challenge in the situation. And there currently aren't any challenges specifically in the situation. There's 2 opponents that you're fighting.
Okay.
So when there's things out here that have like the boxes, or if there's a specific thing you're like, oh, I want to try to like teleport it, some sort of.
So, over overcome doesn't count as trying to beat.
No.
Okay.
You're not when you're trying to deal damage to, you're trying to defeat an opponent, you're attacking. When you're trying to overcome a situation that isn't just defeating an opponent, you're doing an overcome.
Okay.
If you found an item in the magic stuff that you were like, oh, I'm gonna try and use this thing
Right,
to
yeah.
nullify this genie.
Right. That would be an overcome. Although I would not call that the principle of the indestructible in this case. So.
Okie doke. I'll use my lunar beam
Sure.
and go for the opossum this time.
All right. He's gonna blast that opossum.
Using my magical lore.
Cool.
So
That's 10, 10, and are you in the red or the?
D8. I'm in the yellow.
Okay, cool. So 10, 10, 8.
You're in yellow?
I'm still in yellow. Yeah.
How are you still in yellow?
She has 37 hit points at max,
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
and didn't take as much hit points damage as you two chumps did in the first issue.
Yeah.
So your 2 is your mid die.
Yep.
And you attack, and you ignore all penalties and defenses, which is good because the opossum has those built in. If it rolls a 1, you succeed. It rolls a 4. The opossum, it's just impossible to defeat.
It is impossible.
Barely.
Impossible.
Yeah.
Man,
The joke that I made.
this is our new Sergeant Steel.
Oh God, this stupid possum.
Yeah, he's gonna live on forever. I want to see fan art of this opossum. You hear that, chat? Fan art of the
I want
opossum.
that too.
Yeah. Opossum me.
Just tormenting all of us.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
it's wonderful.
Yeah.
The new plushie.
All right. You can pass it to any of these things because your compatriots have all gone.
No, I have not.
Have you not?
But it shouldn't be me.
No,
because
you
I am
started the
defending.
scene. That's right. You did start. I was
Yeah.
like, no, you started it, but you were at the end of the last scene.
But I should go after them because I'm defending.
Yeah. And if you don't, I will definitely bookend it. I could still do so, but I won't.
Pass it to the pepper genie.
Pepper Genie, one last time, it reaches just one hand inside itself, and it's like, oh, this is so scary because of space, and tries to grab a handful of its seeds of chaos. No, it's garbage and things. It rolls a 1 and it's got a -3. It's just too afraid. It's like rooting around inside itself, and like it turns from like, I will grab my seeds of chaos and destroy you, and it's just like, oh man.
This looks like it's left over from when you poured it.
Yeah.
'Cause you
Yeah,
poured it earlier.
she poured it out and it reaches around. It's like, there's nothing inside me anymore. It's like the emptiness of space. Cool. My poor, sad Pepper Genie. Pass it to Arcane Tower. We got a little bit more asbestos. Asbestos is not good. The arcane asbestos, if you don't recall, because that is going to be the collapsing infrastructure of the building, which, by the way, is shaking even more than ever. I'm really concerned about this building, and you should be too. And everybody in this scene is going to get hindered via the mid die, which is a 7, so it's a -2. Everybody in the scene, including the Pepper Genie and the opossum,
So
is
we have a
hindered
chance.
by this.
If I have a boost, does it just nullify it, or do I
Yes.
have both?
No, they,
Okay.
they cancel each other out.
Okay.
If you have a persistent
heal.
boost, it doesn't cancel each other out permanently. But
scary.
the opossum is going to attack you because you blasted at it with a beam, and it was like, "Bleh, bleh," and kind of just like shaking off of the arcane asbestos that's all over it. It charges at you, and it's going to attack and hinder with the same die. It rolls a 7, so it's reduced by 2 because of your arcane asbestos, but you are going to take 5 damage. And you have a -2 to the next thing you do because of the opossum's toxic chomp.
So I'm at a -4 now.
That is true. Technically, it's a -2 and a -2, but it will behave as a -4. All right, that is all their turns. They pass it to you,
it's on
Craig.
me.
Dynamo, what do you got?
Let's see. This is as good a time as any
Oh, sure.
to, all right, here we go. I'm gonna put another boost on myself
Naturally.
with my modular design this time. So basically, I'm out of my back, a little compartment pops open. Boop.
That's where the T was.
No, the tea
No.
comes out from.
Just sort of like down
Oh,
here.
okay, all right.
Out from my back, a little compartment goes boop.
Yeah.
And an arm reaches up
Oh.
with a bunch of like little tiny like looks like capsules on the end.
Sure.
And these are like projectile weapons that are popping up. This is my modular design.
Sure.
So I'm going to boost myself using my power suit.
Yeah.
I'm going to use my min plus mid die.
Now, it does note that the bonus it's going to create is persistent and exclusive, which means you can't use it at the same time as this other boost
That
here.
is okay.
I'm just making sure you're aware.
Yeah, I'm very aware. This is specifically because I'm low on health and I don't want to attack this thing from close range anymore.
You could attack the opossum.
I know, I could.
Okay.
I've got a line for the pepper genie.
All right. You guys are going to die to the pepper genie who can't do anything right, but that's fine.
All right, so I've got my boosting with my power suit.
Yeah.
Technology.
Sure.
And my status die.
Yeah.
All right. All right, my min plus my mid is a 9.
Nice.
Now, can I use this bonus in creating that boost?
In your pseudo arcane infusion? Yeah. You can come up with some way in which the bonuses that you're getting from these modules are affected by the magic.
Yeah.
Like the answer is, the question is, can the pseudo arcane infusion affect this thing? Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
If you're like, if that bonus you had made before is a long metal spike on your fist to use for punching, I'd be like, no, I don't see how that's applicable here.
Right.
But that is.
But so yeah, basically, I've replaced the propellant with this pseudo arcane energy.
That's great. It makes it a +4 bonus.
Yeah. Okay.
So what are you making here? What is this? What are you getting out of your capsules?
These are anti-magic missiles.
Love it.
Yeah.
They don't do D4 damage.
No.
And that is persistent and exclusive.
Yeah. Great. Love it.
Okay. I need my pepper or my possum back, my impossum. Great. So you can pass it to anybody. Again, you have ended the round. So if you want to pass it to the pepper genie, you could, or the impossum.
Keep throwing on those hindrances.
So right now the pepper genie has a permanent -3 and a temporary -2, and it's a D6. So like, it can't do anything.
Right. Almost literally.
Right. Here's what I want to do. I want to make something up here.
Okay. All right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you looking for here?
So what I want to do is I want to dash in.
Yeah.
And I want to grab the impossum.
Okay.
And I want to use my blight matrix to go and like crush it and leave. And I want to do this as a risky action so that I can leave a hindrance on it also. Is that how that works?
So you're trying to attack and hinder at the same time.
Yeah, I'm trying to attack
and this will create this will.
Yeah, I'm just describing my action for that.
Yeah. So you are doing an attack, and I always want the description first. That's great.
Yeah.
So you are doing an attack and a hindrance at the same time.
Yeah.
So essentially, what I'll let you do is I'll let you attack with your mid die and hinder with your min die as
Okay.
part of the same action.
Yeah.
At the cost of a minor twist.
Okay.
And we'll deal with the twist afterwards.
Right.
We'll see what the fallout is.
Okay, so that uses my blight matrix.
Love it.
And close combat.
Sure.
And D8.
You're gonna deal with this
For my
magical
zone.
impossum.
Yeah.
And whoever.
Okay. Not horrible.
So 5 is your attack.
5 is my attack.
And 3 is your hindrance.
Yeah.
So you're going to hinder it at a -1. Mm-hmm. But your attack is going to
Does it hinder first?
No.
Okay.
No. The only time that it's something like anytime that an action does multiple things in the same action, they don't affect each other unless they specifically say otherwise.
Yeah.
Craig has an ability that specifically says boost and then attack using that boost, but otherwise it doesn't do that.
Okay.
So it's got a D8. It's going to roll, and you've got 5 damage coming at it.
Yeah.
The impossum has been sliced and diced.
Yeah.
It is damaged for the first time on this level. The impossum is down to a D6, and its very essence has been wounded as well.
Yeah.
With its
Okay. So
negative.
what's the voice demanding of me now?
Oh, is it for the voice specifically?
I'm letting the thing take me.
Yeah,
some.
I love it. Because so as you charge in, as you charge in, you're like, oh man, I've really got to defeat this impossum, and the voice says, you must fight, and you're like, yes, I will. I'm like, great,
I'm fighting.
Yep, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Your next turn must be spent in making just a basic attack.
Okay.
That is what you're doing on your next turn is a basic attack with no risk, no bonus, nothing.
Okay.
So that's all.
All right.
No big deal.
All right.
And you got to attack whatever's closest to you. I just like
Yeah. Stella, you want to go?
Yeah, so I'm in the red zone now.
yeah.
Align the stars, select one target, boost using deep space knowledge. Now, when I boost it, do I have to come up with a scenario? Or?
I mean, we'll figure out what the story is together, but right. So what you're doing is so first off, you're selecting a target, which would be like one of these things. You're boosting, and you could boost yourself or you could boost a teammate, and you're boosting using your max plus min plus mid dice. So you're going to make a huge boost. And then what you're saying is that this ability says the bonus must be used against that target on your next turn, or else the bonus goes away. So either you're boosting yourself, or you're boosting someone else and saying you have to use this attack. I'm making a specific boost for you that is especially good against against pepper genies, or especially good against opossums. So that's what you're doing here.
I'm gonna attack.
So if you want to boost Violet Heart and say, hey, you have to attack one of these two with this thing that I'm giving you. I'm giving you energy that is specifically the antithesis of the thing that you're about to attack.
Yeah. So I want to use my Align the Stars to select Pepper Genie for
Violet Heart.
For Violet Heart to boost using Deep Space Knowledge, and we already know that
it's afraid of space.
It's got all this space stuff going on.
Yeah. Space is scary.
Space is scary.
Yeah.
All right. So you have created something that is of the essence of space itself, and you're giving this energy to Violet Heart, who will then use it to unmake the Pepper Genie.
Yep.
That's great. Roll for it.
You wanted to destroy the pepper genie.
So I use my Deep Space Knowledge, right, which is a D12.
It
We gotta hit it twice.
It would, yeah.
It's unlikely to.
Yes.
My powers,
So you use the Deep Space Knowledge for quality. What power are you using to make
my
this?
Cosmic Energy.
Cosmic Energy is a D10. Great. And you're in the red zone, which is also a D10.
All right.
So you roll those 3, and you're going to use all 3 of those dice. And you don't currently have any boosts or hindrances? No. So you rolled a 4, a 1, and a 7. So you rolled a total of 12. You have a +4 bonus against this Pepper Genie.
Nice.
Okay.
And it's -5.
Okay.
Do you want to pass it to her? Or
Yeah.
do you, yeah. All right.
Can I rage ribbon to attack both of them, or since I have to attack the pepper genie, it has to be specific?
You can Rage Ribbons attack both of them. The bonus will only apply to the Pepper Genie.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Or you could just
Heart storm.
you could just straight up.
Yeah, I'll heart storm.
Yeah.
Attack using zesty blood and use your max die.
That's way better than using your min die against both of these.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on.
D10.
Yeah.
D10. And then D10 because magical lore.
Yeah, and you're in the red zone. Yeah. Boom. So your max is a 9.
Yeah.
And
Plus
4, so 13 damage against the Pepper Genie. It might just die.
It might die.
It might just die. It rolls its die. It rolls a 4. It has a -5 to a -1. The Pepper Genie explodes. You run up.
Say it.
You stab
Say
the
it.
Pepper Genie.
You're not gonna say it?
No, I didn't get to use it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
No, it's
okay.
okay.
Things happen.
That's okay. We'll recap at the end. It's like I didn't get to destroy anything with my laser dragon. So.
That's true. Yeah, that happens.
Or your Pepper Genie.
Or my friggin' Pepper Genie. The Pepper Genie, it grows larger and larger. You stab into it, it goes larger and larger, and then it goes, space is scary, and it splits open from the inside, and the explosion of pepper juices. The Scoville scale of this explosion it's through the roof, and you're gonna take your minimum die, which you rolled like a 7, 8, 9, I think it was. So you're gonna take the minimum die and damage. Oh no, are you at 6?
I'm gonna die.
You just explode yourself.
Just
No, this is
die.
fine. You're not dead forever. But you're down to you're incapacitated. So.
Negative
This is
1.
fantastic. Violet Heart runs up. She stabs Zesty Blood into the Pepper Genie. The Pepper Genie explodes, and as it does so, it turns into stars. It turns into the thing that fears most. It turns into space itself. It destroys, and as it does so, that explosion. You all feel as Violet Heart's like, oh, it's too spicy. She passes out.
We're just like,
I'm shook.
Violet Heart, you can pass it on to whoever you want to in the scene. I believe the only people that are left in this scene are Dynamo and the Opossum. 'Cause you've already-
Having
And the
me go
tower.
before the opossum is a good thing, probably in this situation. Though the tower is about to go into the red zone.
Yeah. All right, you go.
All right. So, like, you can't see it through my suit,
Sure.
but there's tear.
Well, yeah, because of all the pepper in the air, like,
Well,
oh,
yeah.
you had your equip locked and loaded.
And then this is real bad. And now my work proximity acquaintance is down.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah, I guess that's the sad part. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Guys, thanks.
That's the sad part. It's not the peppers in the air.
Right.
It's not the death of the pepper genie.
With a,
Yeah, that's fair.
I get up and I leap back
Okay.
and launch all of these
Yeah.
anti-magic missiles right at this remaining target for my rage.
Yeah, that's fair. This is great. What attack? Are you using a specific attack or?
No,
Okay.
I'm just my anti-magic missiles.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use my power suit because it's coming from
That's
my power
great.
suit. It's probably technology rather
that
than
makes
close
sense.
combat.
Yeah, it's not
in
close
this.
combat at all.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of that.
Yeah. It's far combat.
Yep.
And
And you're in the
my-
red zone?
Yeah.
So D6.
Still in my red zone.
All right.
That's okay. But I
right.
got a +4 to this. So. All right. So that is a 9.
9 damage coming at the Impossum.
Yep.
I mean, if it rolls real poorly, it could die too.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
No.
But
It's down to a.
it's down to a D4, and it no longer, for the first time in the entire time you guys have seen this Impossum, it doesn't look happy anymore.
So what's the rule for it when it
There's
took more damage?
it's like a
it's
massive
negative?
damage rule for like multipliers of so much more than its hit points. And like the Pepper Genie rolled a -2, I think it was.
Yeah.
And it was dealt 14 or 13 damage, so like there was just no way it was surviving
Yeah.
at that point.
Okay.
So, all right. So the Impossum's down to a D4, and it's looking awful.
And I'll pass it to the Impossible.
All right, the Impossum is gonna chomp at you
Okay.
with its chompy teeth.
Bring it. I defend so much against this.
It's true. It does 3 damage to you.
But I reduced that by 6.
Good. And you have a -1 hindrance on the
Okay.
next thing as a bit of its acidic bile eats through your suit
Sure.
in a couple of key places.
Sure.
Oh, the arcane tower seems to have gone into the red zone. So the arcane tower shakes, it shudders, and one of the walls of the room you're in opens up to the sky as an entire panel of the wall falls off the building, and a few seconds later you hear it crash into the ground far below. The storm above is shaking the whole building, and the sigils, as you identified when you first walked into the door, many of the sigils in this building were holding the building together. And the sigils, you've dispelled a lot of them, and then the vandals left, and they were the one keeping the sigils going. So I'm sure it's not a problem, but you don't have to guess what happens if this scene tracker runs out.
Yeah.
You don't know all of it, but still. Anyway, yeah, building's falling apart. Don't worry about that. That's the end of the round. We're gonna pass it to the Impossum. It was gonna keep chewing on you.
Great.
2 damage.
I reduced that by 6. But
-1.
-1.
All right. Arcane Tower shudders even more. Stella Nova, what do you got? What do you got?
You can do this.
Okay. I'm attack using my lunar beam.
Yeah.
So with the Impossum, I want to do something different.
Okay.
My beam isn't going to come directly out of my orb.
Okay.
It's gonna transcend. So it's gonna be more of like a
Like an aura?
An all-encompassing thing?
I'm a whoosh.
Okay. Oh, like I'm pushing a wave of energy out of
Like
you.
a wave of energy,
Yeah,
Okay,
As opposed to
so,
a wave of
and as the wave of energy comes out of the orb, it kind of, it pushes a lot of whatever's creating the Impossum.
Sure.
It's pushing that away from it.
Okay, so you're going to try to remove the magical life force of the
Yeah.
Impossum from itself. That's great.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. You-
Turns
That's-
into a regular.
all right, so roll for
All
it.
right, D10. D10.
And what is the effect that you're trying to do here? You're trying to unmake this, or are you trying to remove the magical part from?
I'm trying to remove whatever magic it's creating it.
Okay. Yeah.
Which I
Okay.
think would probably unmake it.
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Well,
That's
there'll
great.
be a possum corpse left behind.
Yeah.
So I have all D10s.
Yes, you do.
Wow, 2 of them are 10.
Nice.
Yeah. And you attack with your mid, which is a 10. So you do 10 damage. It rolls its D4 to defend, and it rolls a 1. Oh, the Impossum. So the wave of energy cascades over it, and as it does so, the Possum goes, ah, and it falls over on its side, and as that energy passes on by it, What's left there is a really messed up possum corpse that I'm not going to do a lot of describing on because it's kind of cute and weird when it's an impossum, but as a regular possum, that's just roadkill. So there's a murdered possum.
How long is its tail?
Normal.
How long?
Okay.
Normal.
All right.
Yeah.
I had to know.
Yeah,
I had
that's
to
fair.
know.
Now you know. Now it's knowable. All right, so the opossum is down. You're still in round time. You can pass it to either Dynamo or to Starblight. Your choice.
Starblight.
Okay, so now,
That's still true.
yeah, I figured.
I wasn't going to let you off the hook. I was just
No,
curious if
I
anybody else
figured.
would remember. What do you want to do with your turn?
I still have to
You
attack.
have to make a basic attack against something.
Yeah,
Punch me.
who's the closest to me?
Punch me in the
You're
eye out.
unconscious.
Yeah.
I jumped away.
Yeah, she's probably the closest to
Yeah,
you.
I am.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I see my eyes glow this bright red.
Yeah.
And I seem to like not be in control of myself. And
Covered in twizzlers.
I-
Sorry, red vines.
Have
I
you seen
attack
this
you.
before? Because you guys know each other?
You're dead. Be quiet, dead girl.
this is something that you may have
I'll go
seen.
first.
Well, if we've been together for long enough, you may have seen me
I
like
knew
give
it
into
was
this
coming.
thing before. Yeah.
I mean, it's fair.
Yeah, so I'm using Starblight and Close Combat and Red Zone.
Yes.
What's
What's your mid?
My mid is 4.
All right, you take 4 damage as you get slashed by a sword
Yeah.
of your so-called friend.
My
Yeah.
ally.
And then I snap out of it after that. But
Surely this isn't the first time you've seen this happen. You
I
are-
knew it was gonna happen.
You are obviously in some sort of abusive
yeah.
friendship
You know
situation
you know
here.
the future also. So.
All right,
Yeah.
so you are still in round time
Yeah.
because you are in the midst of a challenge. You don't need to put a thing for it. Of what are you going to do about this shaking building? You have various things that are true here. The building is definitely about to come down around you.
Yeah.
Also, your friend is down and out, and also you strongly feel that in this room, the pepper genie's gone. You did this magical wave that not only pushed the magic from the impossible way, but all the magic in that like zone. You wiped a lot of the magic away from here, which is great because there's a lot of weird, tumultuous magic here. But in this room where you are is the magic that was the source of the energy of the laser dragon. The laser dragon energy that you tracked to here. It's still in this room. There is something somewhere in this room that is resonating with that energy. And now that all of the other magical things have been dealt with, it's kind of screaming. If you were up at the time, you would feel it very strongly. But you're dead. Shut up. So you can feel that you would both feel it, but you still feel that this magical energy is somewhere in this room. So those are all the things that are happening right now.
Are you going to pass it to me?
That's who it has to be passed to. So. Adam, it's up to you to pass it to Dynamo.
So
There's various things going on here.
I'm really tempted to grab Violet Heart and get her out of
Look
here.
at- yeah, and I can help her look. Although you don't know that, I just attacked her.
Right, yeah.
I'm sort of like breathing heavy also. I'm like,
Yeah. Also, you just attacked her.
Yeah.
I am even more likely to grab Violet Heart and get out of here.
You're not going to charge him off the side of the building?
No, I'm gonna help my workplace proximity.
All right.
acquaintance.
Yeah, okay.
You can say friend.
Friends
Just like
really
working
good.
here.
So
It's the same.
let me ask a mechanical question here. Would getting off of this building safely be an overcome action?
If you're going to try to just jump out of the side of the building and fall 21 stories, yeah, that would be an overcome action. If you're like, oh, I'm just going to grab her and we're going to like go down the stairs and take some time to do it.
Well, rather than just jumping off,
Okay.
like
Do you have a situation you want to
yeah,
describe?
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
So what I want to do,
Yeah,
is
tell me what you want to do and we'll figure out what that is.
I want to scoop her up
Sure.
in one arm because she's tiny.
Yeah.
And then do the some not spikes but grippy things pop out of one of my
Toilet plungers?
arms. Yeah, exactly. And then I want to do the vault over the side of the building.
Oh, and all the way down?
All the way,
Oh,
all the way down.
That's a super cool action that I love the description of it.
Yeah.
Roll for it. You can use your pseudo infusion on it. You cannot use your anti-magic missiles on it.
That's fine, because I'm going to be using my steel trap
Oh,
red
yeah.
zone ability. And so yeah, there's almost a magnetism here at work because of the pseudo arcane infusion.
And it works because I was going to tell you no about magnetism because the building is more glass along the sides than steel, but it seems to work. The pseudo magical, pseudo arcane infusion allows the magnetism of your arm to stick to the glass.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Well, I said it's almost a magnetism.
Yeah.
All right. So technology I have to use here.
Must.
And this is definitely my power suit at work, and I'm still in the D6. So.
And you get to use max plus min plus 3.
Yeah.
Oh, and you didn't roll like Craig.
No.
So 9 plus 3 is 12.
12.
And so you succeed beyond expectations. That's the first 12 plus overcome we've ever had. 8 through 11 is succeed, no problem, everything's great, no twists. 12 plus is succeed beyond expectations with an added bonus.
Great.
Do you have something you want?
I wouldn't mind having something that assists Stella Nova getting out of here as well. I know she can teleport. I have a thing that makes sense in the scene. Okay, cool. My other concern is other people accompanying me, but this is my primary concern.
So you get out, you stick the side of the building, slide all the way down, and you've got her over your shoulder, and everything is fine. The two of you are on the ground safely. You probably want to get away from the building, but still, that's fine.
Yeah.
As you go out the wall. I said a wall fell away. You go out a wall, and as you go out the wall, that leaves. There's three quadrants of the room now.
Remaining.
3 remaining quadrants.
There you
One is
go.
missing. But there's the section that has been magically erased.
Yeah.
Because you put that wave of magical energy out, and that erased all the magic in that zone. Great. There's the section where the wall has fallen away, which is where you went out. There's the remaining section, and in that section is where the magical thing that is yelling at your mind is in that area of it. And as you go by, you feel you're pretty bad, but you feel really strongly that there's a specific cabinet in that room. In fact, we can go back to art. Boop, boop, boop. No, go back. Yeah, there we go. So in this room, there is a box with a skull on it. And you, through the haze of feeling real bad, feel that box is some way calling to you, and you're able to just kind of okay, bye. As you go over the side of the building, communicating to her, hey, maybe look at that. It's a pretty cool box.
Look at that really cool box.
And I can probably already sense that.
You said it was coming from somewhere over there, but not specifically that box. But she alerts you to the fact that, oh, hey, investigate that box. You might wanna. Maybe. I don't know. All right.
It's a waterfall. Coldness.
I was looking at what your out ability is.
Yeah. Not helpful.
Hinder an opponent by rolling your magical lore die.
Yep.
Not helpful.
Not in this case.
I'm just saying, we got some time left.
That was the end of the round. You can pass it to whoever you want to. Everything refreshes.
Yeah.
You can pass it to whoever you want in the scene.
Stella Nova, we got some time. We know what we're taking, definitely.
Yep.
But there's other magical stuff there too, is all I'm saying.
Greedy boy.
And honestly, having a little extra that I can work into my research for maybe hunting these people down might be helpful. All I'm saying is check all their boot heels.
They took their boots with them when they left.
Check that possum's boot heels.
It's just a regular possum now.
Check it anyway. It's just going to be possum
You're not
heels.
there. You're sliding on the side of a building. Who do you want to pass it to?
I already said I'm
Stella
passing
Nova.
it to
Okay,
Stella
great.
Nova.
What do you want to do?
I want to investigate the box.
All right. You go over to that box, you open it up, you first feel is there any sort of magical traps that are going to attack me? No. I know there's nothing that's bad that's going to happen when I open the box. You open the box, nothing bad happens, you were right. And inside that box, there is an amulet that looks like this. And it's going to go full screen for me. Thank you. What's going on here? No, go back. Ah!
I don't know.
There we go. There we go. Amulet. There we go. Anyway, so that's in that box.
You know what you should
you
definitely
touch
do?
it?
Just grab it.
Do you
Like, that's
touch
all.
the amulet?
Well,
Do you pick it up?
my first thought is, will this amulet, if I take it, will something catastrophic happen, or will I take it and it will benefit?
I'm sure.
You have telekinesis also,
Yeah,
so
just
you can just bubble it out of there without touching it. But
Okay.
yeah, just telekinesis it, drop it off the side of the building.
You could just teleport it.
So we want
like,
to
onto the
destroy
ground.
it?
No.
No.
Don't destroy it. We want to
We
research
don't know what
this.
it is.
We want
yeah.
to, okay.
I mean, I'm not there.
Not there.
This half of the
Well,
table
I can
is not
still,
there.
I can still pick up, you guys' minds and.
You can, but you can't really. I mean,
can
if you
have-
wanted to, you could shove the image of the amulet into
my
Dynamo's
mind
mind and be like,
easily.
"Hey, what do you think of
But,
this?"
like,
but you could also
Why
ask the
would
person
you
that's in
do
the room
that?
with you.
Because I have
but-
no arcane knowledge whatsoever.
And then you don't know that I still have that.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to reveal that?
All right. This isn't an overcome, or
I mean, you could make it depending on what you want to do. What do you want to do in this situation?
I want to take it, and so we can find more information.
If you want to take
about
it, do you want to reach out and grab it with your hand, or do you want to lift it up with your mind using telekinesis, or what?
I want to lift it with my mind.
You could just do
'cause I
that.
don't-
You do
All
so.
right.
You lift it up. It's hovering above the box. You're holding it with your mind. Great.
do I feel anything when I see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You feel like a wave of oppression from it.
I'm gonna toss a crazy thing out there. You could just take
You're not there.
the box.
You're not there.
Yeah, that way you don't have
Rocks
to
are going
worry
to fall on
about
you
touching it.
in a hot second there, buddy. You say you reduce damage by 6, you take 18 points of damage.
Okay, let's
be
keep
so-
it in the box. Let's take the whole box just in case
Sure.
something
Sure.
bigger happens.
Plus free
All right.
box.
And then
I know it's a nice box.
It is a nice
right?
box.
Okay.
Nah, I'm not going to pull it back.
It's got a skull in it.
D8.
Picture
I'm going
skulls
to
are
use
cool.
my magical lore,
Sure.
and then I am in the red zone.
What are you trying to do here? Are you teleporting out of this?
Yes.
Okay. Are you teleporting Starblight as well, or just you?
I can just leave. You don't have to,
Yeah, I'm teleporting.
but you can try. I mean, like I don't mind you teleporting me, but I don't.
I'm
need
going to
you
teleport both of us.
So you and Starblight and the box with the amulet in it, all teleporting, right?
Yeah.
Just making sure. Go ahead.
Could matter.
All right. So you got a 5.
Yep.
And so that is a success with a minor twist. You were teleporting down to the ground, right? Mm-hmm. Great. You teleport down to the ground, and when you land there, you arrive. You successfully teleported yourself. You successfully teleported Starblight. You successfully teleported the amulet. You did not successfully teleport the box. You land. You're holding the amulet. You're standing on the ground. Everything's great. Nothing's wrong. Everything's fine. Holding the amulet. No big deal.
Interesting.
Yeah. Box didn't make it. There was just too many things to concentrate on in that one, and the building was shaking and falling around you, and just it was too much to
So
concentrate
the
on.
amulet came out of the box?
Yeah. So you were holding a box. You teleported yourself, the box, the amulet. When you arrived, when you landed, box didn't make it. Amulet made it. You made it. Starblight made it. Box didn't make it. Amulet
Okay.
falls into your
One
hand.
thing's gonna leave. I'm glad it's the box.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, what if you had teleported yourself, Starblight, the box, not the amulet? You're like, everything's great. Building collapses. And you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Open
Probably
box.
fine.
It was obviously like designed to be an anti-magic box anyway.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
This is
So
not good at
I feel
teleporting.
like a wave of oppression coming off. Of
Yes, right. And in fact,
And-
so when she had opened up the box, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, geez. And then she closed the box. Okay, everything's good again.
But now
Teleport.
it's-
Now it's gone.
yeah.
And it's like, oh, man, this amulet, it is like,
Well,
it's...
I'm remembering also last time that my voice was saying this is the same
Right.
about the laser dragon stuff, and this looks a lot like the laser dragon.
It is made out of the same stuff as the laser dragon. Not
Okay.
in terms of it's made out of the same steel and lasers as the laser dragon. The magic, the cosmic magic that is powering a laser dragon is what's powering, is
Yeah.
what this amulet, and in fact, I wouldn't even say that it's powering this amulet. That amulet is corrupted. You can feel that this amulet isn't innately of that magic. That this amulet is corrupted by that magic.
Okay.
Yeah. So as you are all standing here, we're going to go ahead and leave the initiative tracker. We're going to leave the scene tracker,
building
and the
comes
building
down.
is going to collapse behind you. Dust pours over you. You quickly throw up a bubble of energy, and the dust pours over you, but doesn't negatively affect you guys. And when the dust settles, the three of you are standing there. You're still over Dynamo's shoulder, and you've got this amulet. You could have possibly saved the building, but you chose not to, and that's totally fine. The building is now gone. Don't worry about any of that. All the magic stuff in that building definitely destroyed. But the box somewhere, who knows? But the amulet, you've got it. And so you're here with the amulet. You're standing up, and you kind of groggily come to. You have 1 health. You're able to okay, geez, I'm okay. I'm up. I feel awful. I would like to sleep for 600 years, but you're up.
Done that before.
Did that once.
Sorry about the sword thing.
Oh, it's okay. I know you. I
don't-
knew it.
Cool. Tight. No doubt.
I'm not sure you should be touching it, but I'm glad it's not affecting you.
So when you passed out, the amulet there was a million magical stuff in this room, and as you were in the groggly sleep, you're like, oh, there's something strong over there that seems very familiar. Okay, great. Now you've come to, you get up, and this amulet, she's holding this amulet, and it is like, oh wow, you're holding something that's super mega evil magic. Not just magic, some magic can be used in an evil way and some can be used in a positive way. You're an undead thing with a zesty blood dagger and all that, but you're doing it for good and blah, blah, blah. No, this thing is evil. It is an evil magic amulet in some way.
I'm definitely going to be I'm going to be I don't know why it's not having any negative effects on you right now, but that thing, we should not be touching it with our bare hands. We need to put that thing
back where it came from.
or so help me.
I am aware. Are you picking up any, or are you sensing any other energy that could be connected to this amulet?
So you just, the only stuff you know offhand is what I told you, is that it's evil, but if you want to, you can investigate it a bit.
To investigate?
Yeah, do an overcome of some sort. Tell me how you're going to do it. Tell me, the thing you're getting from it is, oh, you're just holding a little ball of evil there. The thing you realize in my feeling is oh, this feels like space and vast magic, understanding of the cosmos. The thing you realize this is laser dragons, and you're why is everybody freaking out about this piece of metal with chains? Right. It's got some glowy lines on it.
I'm going to use Principle of Exorcism, overcome entities or elements from another dimension, and use your max die. You and each of your allies gain a hero point. So I'm going to use Presence.
Okay.
And otherworldly mythos.
So here's the only concern that I have is it's not from another dimension.
Okay.
It is definitely from this dimension. So I'm afraid that your principle doesn't really fit here because it is very strongly from this dimension. It's from space, but it's not from another dimension.
Okay. And then my overcomes don't check out then.
I mean, you could still do a regular overcome. You don't have to do a principle-based overcome.
Okay. I'll do overcome using presence and magical lore.
Sure, so you're using your presence and the things you know about magic to try to figure out what's going on here. And you're in the red zone because look at your health. All right, and you rolled a 3, a 4, and a 10. A 4 is your mid die, and so you succeed, but with a minor twist. That's great. So, you're what is going on magically here? And you're able to see 3 separate things going on with the magic of this amulet. 1, the thing that everybody is most reacting to, which is the corruption. You feel that there is this deep-seated corruption that has changed what the amulet is. The silver and purple energy that the amulet is resonating with is not innate to the amulet, and it is the corruption of this amulet, and that is the evil magic that you are feeling. Okay. Underneath that, muted as if through a steel cage, there is some sort of pure magical aspect to it that is not an earthly, that is not a terrestrial magic. It is a cosmic magic that is beneath that that is the power of the amulet, and the corruption is just taking that power and using it and twisting it and doing different things with it. But there's something beneath that you can't really tell that much about. There is a third aspect of it, and there is a third aspect which is a magical tether. This is a magical tether that runs, it ran from the amulet to the laser dragon in the first place. It's gone now, you can't tell that, but that is similar to that. There is something that is from the evil of this amulet, from the corruption of this amulet, that is running from the amulet up out into the cosmos, just infinitely out. And it is specifically from that amulet to Stella Nova. That Stella Nova is tethered to something out in the cosmos via the amulet.
Okay, well I'm gonna, I have to relay that information, but I don't want it to sound like...
I don't want to cause an alarm here.
Yeah, I don't want it to sound like Stella Nova comes from evil. That's not exactly what that means. Mm-hmm. So, but that I can feel that it, it's corrupt, it's bad. There's something that one awry here, but beneath that is something more pure but the corrupt part is what's attached to Stella Nova, correct? Or I can't tell. Okay, the corrupt part is?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
No question.
I'm having like a little bit of trouble keeping it together at this point.
Yeah.
Given what we just been through. So I'm asking the voice things vocally, like, and so you can all hear me talking.
Yeah.
And to something, and you're not hearing the response.
I'm already troubled by you because you just attacked.
Right.
So
I'm like,
ally.
And she was okay with it.
What part of this is the same? What's going on here?
The power's the same.
The powers, but which power?
It could be yours. You could have it. You could take it.
Just take it?
You could take it.
Steel wall now.
Like, I can't hear the voice.
Right.
Yeah,
I
but
can
you
only
can
hear-
hear the just take it.
But,
Yeah.
but
Oh, yeah.
What good would that do me?
You could be more. You could be everything.
I need to know
what's
which.
going on.
Which?
Can you tell us?
Is it-
what
is it
it
the
I have an
power or the
idea.
corruption
I think
that
I have
you
an
want me
idea.
to
I think I
take?
would.
Can I sense
All
that?
power.
Can I sense that he has his voice in his head? I know.
Yeah, you can't hear it.
I
You
can't
can't hear the
it,
voice.
but I-
You know there's something. You know that he is talking to the power that he is corrupted by. You know they're not corrupted, but cursed by. You know the power that he's talking to the power that he is cursed by.
Yeah.
But there's some sort of malevolence, even too strong probably. There's some sort of driving ego within himself that isn't him, that has more power and more knowledge than he does, so it is frequently correct for him to interface with it, and he can't divorce himself from it in any way.
Okay,
Do I know
really
that too?
wanna.
You don't know that. She knows that because she's been with him for longer, and also it is specifically a cosmic magical entity
Yeah.
that she is.
So I don't.
You don't know that.
Okay. So yeah, no, I just think he's crazy.
I wanna roll an overcome here.
Yes.
To try and really discern which, if it's the amulet's power, if it's the curse
That.
that this voice wants me to have.
Right. Yeah.
Does
yeah.
it want me to be more corrupted, or does it want me to remove the corruption and take this thing?
Right.
So I'm going to use intuition.
Yeah.
And deep space knowledge.
Sure.
And my zone die.
Yeah.
And my mid die is a 7.
Okay, you succeed, but with a minor twist.
Yeah.
You know that the answer to this question is not so cut and dry as what you were asking.
Okay.
But you're able to understand as you talk to this thing more, and you begin talking to this thing without words. That you're just like you and this thing you're interfacing your mind with
And
this.
I sort of drift off. I'm like, yeah, but
And,
so
yeah.
I fall silent. Everyone's staring at me.
And so it is. You understand that this thing. You and the amulet are the same in that the amulet is a base of power that the corruption couldn't do anything with. The corruption couldn't do anything. If the corruption was just floating around in space by itself, it can't do anything without this base of power that the amulet provides it. And you are the same in that you are this entity that is autonomous and can walk around and do stuff, and the Starblight blade and corruption curse is what allows it to interact with the world. So the fact that the amulet is dangerous is because it has this corruption, and the fact that you are a danger to anyone around you is because you have this curse. But the curse on its own and the corruption on its own isn't really anything. It's just the effect of something else.
Okay.
Because that curse that you have comes from somewhere, and this corruption comes from somewhere. I'm not equating the two. I'm just saying,
Right.
like this
These aren't this is not the same thing that's on me.
It is, but it is the same in terms of like the thing that the amulet is saying, the thing that the blight matrix inside you is saying is that the curse, the power of the laser dragon, because it told you initially when you saw it was the same. The power of the laser dragon and the curse that's on this amulet are of a compatible nature with the thing that makes you powerful.
Okay.
The thing that makes you not just Sam the astronaut, the thing that makes you a powerful entity, and you could drink of that power, and it would give you more.
Okay. All right.
And it thinks, man, that's a really good idea. Gosh, you should do that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back here in non-crazy people land,
I just say I'm glad you think so.
Um,
after pausing for a really long time.
you like it's not going to force you to do things except for when you make bargains with it and then accept its deals.
Yeah, makes sense.
You guys are aware, you two are aware that the amulet could be cleansed of its corruption. So here's what I'm going to do. I was going to go a little bit longer, but we're going to stop here. This is a really good place to stop. This is a really good place to stop. It is, in fact, 4 o'clock, so 4 o'clock, so we're at the right stopping time. And also, we're here. We've just you've defeated the tower. You made your way through the tower and defeated everything that's there. You defeated the tower itself.
True.
Whether or not that's a positive thing. And you have this amulet. In some way, this amulet is related to it is a temptation to the power that resides within Adam. It has tethered you to something out in the cosmos that is different from you. And the amulet is corrupted and probably needs to be dealt with in some way. And this all is like outside your pay scale. Yep. But
I have a lab we could take it to.
It's true. So this is what's going on here.
Okay.
We're gonna leave it here, and then when we return, not next week, but the week after, you will all need to make some decisions about what's going forward here. Because here's the deal: I have at this point branching paths of things that could happen, but you guys have choices to make, and I don't really have a preference on what choice you make.
I say we kill both of them.
What happens with my
Persistence.
They go away.
They're
They go away.
ridiculous.
At the end of an issue,
Okay.
they all go away. If you want to bring them back next issue, you could do so in the form of the
Doing
hero
the
points.
thing again.
Any hero
Oh.
points that you did not spend, any of the hero points that you booked this turn, this game, they go away. You don't get to anything that you're like, oh, I'm gonna save these hero points thing. Those are gone. You don't have those anymore. But you do have the hero points, and at the beginning of next session, we will start off by
And we did,
so
visitors number 2 today,
Yep.
right?
right. Visitors number 2
Yep.
is the issue number. And we're going to open it up to the chat in just a minute for questions. So if you guys have questions, feel free to talk to Chris, who's managing our Greater Than Games Twitch account, and he'll respond to
Getting
you.
those in now.
Yeah, get those questions in now because I don't want to spend too much time like waiting between questions. But I want to finish up here. So yeah, next time we'll start by unchecking, by refreshing all of our collected trades, and then signing hero points in ways that we think we might want to use them.
so basically, instead of giving myself +1s, I could spend hero points to keep those.
No.
okay.
If
I
you were
thought
like,
that's what you were
oh,
saying.
if you got 4 hero points, you could be like, my 4 hero points here, my anti-magic
okay.
missile. I'm keeping. I'm not keeping the same boost. I'm like, I'm gonna remember how I had that thing. I still have that thing. Look, I've used it. Cool.
Gotcha.
And that's
Okay.
the way in which,
Okay.
Okay.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah. So,
What health are we going to be at?
you're at the health that you're at.
Okay.
We're stopping.
Just making sure.
There's not
Yeah.
We're
We
picking
did
up next
recover.
to let you know. Some issues we'll pick up at the start of the issue and be like, some time has passed because
Yeah.
from an issue to a comic book, the next comic book is like, oh, and this is weeks later. Great. The next comic book picks up this. We end on a cliffhanger of. You've learned that you're tethered out into the cosmos. You've learned that you're like, oh, I'm holding this thing now, which like seems bad, but also it also seems fine. It doesn't seem to be negatively affecting me right now. You're like, I want that, or at least a part of me wants that. And another part of me is like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
And then
I'm worried about you.
and you're worried about her, and also this whole situation is in various ways concerning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Any questions from you four
Nope.
about
I
how
have
we're
my
doing here?
questions answered.
All right, excellent. Chris, what do you have? Anything from the chat? Anything from all those people out there in Radio Land or TV Land, maybe?
TV.
Internet land.
Internet land? Where are we at?
So yeah, we do have a couple of questions about sort of the nuts and bolts of how things work.
Sure.
Mostly asking for further clarification on boosts and hinders and
Okay.
how they work overall.
Sure. So a boost. So there is a chart that I didn't have out this time. That whenever you make a boost or hinder action. Oh, hey, my laser dragon. Get back in the drawer. Where's the table? There we go. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
There we go.
Oh, I'll actually use the thing I never use. Trevor made this really cool
yeah,
camera
over there.
for zooming in, and I just never
yeah.
use it. Over here in the zoom in space.
Should be upside down.
Or
Sideways.
Nope,
Other way.
Other way.
Making it worse.
Perfect.
Upside down.
Making it
Completely.
All right, I don't know. But I don't
There
know.
you go.
The Sentinel Comics logo is
Can you
Right way.
can you full screen that, Trevor? I don't know if that's possible. Anyway, so this is the chart that we have for overcomes over here, which is the thing that I talk about whenever I say, oh, you rolled a 0 lustrous fails, 1 to 3 is succeed at a major twist, or you can choose to let it fail. 4 to 7 is succeeds with a minor twist. 8 to 11 is the action completely succeeds, and 12 plus, which we got to see one today, succeeds with an added bonus. That same numerical chart is what we use for boost and hinders, where 0 or less is no bonus or penalty, 1 to 3 is a +1 or a -1, a +1 if you're boosting, a -1 if you're hindering, 4 to 7 is a +2 if you're boosting, a -2 if you're hindering, 8 to 11 is a + or -3, and a 12 plus is a + or -4. And those are when you're taking the boost or hinder action, you're creating bonuses or penalties. Bonuses and penalties both are a one-time use unless you've made something that specifically says it's persistent, which some people did. And like Adam put that persistent penalty on the pepper genie, and that really wrecked it. Yeah, that was great. And so, yeah, persistent bonuses and penalties hang around after the one time they're used, whereas otherwise they just happen the one time.
As a follow-up to that, they want to know how boosts and hinders cancel each other out and interact when you have multiple of them
right. When you
at the
have,
same time.
Yeah, when you have multiple at the same time, you can choose, if you have multiple and they're not exclusive, because anything that says it's an exclusive boost, you can't use any, if you're using an exclusive boost on a roll, you can't use any other boosts on that same roll. But if they, if you have two boosts, you've got, I've got a +2 and a +2, and you roll and it says, okay, you're making a basic attack, let's say, great, you would apply both of those to your mid die. But if you're making an attack that says, you're making using an ability that says, I'm attacking with my mid die and hindering with my min die, you could choose to put both of those +2s on the min, or one on the min and one on the mid. Like, you can put them in whatever way you want. With the hinder, the same thing is true in reverse, in that the person that created the hinder chooses how they get allocated. As the GM, unless it's a situation in which I like really strongly feel that it should be in a specific way, which I sometimes will do, I frequently, like earlier to you, I said, hey, you can put it on whichever one you want. Or no, that was on you. I said, you can either make it the -1 to the healing or the -1 to the attack, your choice, or the hindrance. But in that case, I was fine with the player having the choice there. But technically, the person that created the boost, I hit the microphone, don't do that. Technically, the person who created the mod, the penalty in this case, is the one that chooses what effect die it applies to. So.
And that actually goes to answering another question about how boosts and hinders work with AoE attacks.
Yeah. You apply it to the effect die. And so if there's an AoE attack that's hitting a bunch of things, it's like, you hit all of them with your min die. Well, if I got a +1 and I'm putting it on my min die, then it gets a +1 there. I think that I didn't specifically address is how they cancel each other out. If I've got a +2 boost and I get a -2 penalty, it cancels the boost out and it just disappears and goes away. If it's a persistent boost, it wouldn't get rid of the persistent boost because the persistent boost is stronger than that. It would get rid of it for one time of use and then it would go away. But you can use boosts and hinders. Like if I've got this -6 hindrance, you could have boosted yourself, or someone else could have boosted you more accurately to negate some of those.
So those are the nuts and bolts questions, but
Sure.
we have a few that are not quite so micro level.
Yeah,
so.
okay.
This is specifically for you, Adam.
Yeah, excellent.
They wanted to know if you renamed the power suit Blight Matrix.
Is it the power suit one that I renamed that?
Starblight is
my sword.
Is
it's
your
the
sword.
signature weapon.
Right,
Yeah.
and Blight Matrix, I believe, is power suit. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I did.
Then just another. Do we get the Game Master stuff on YouTube?
The GM prep sessions are going to be up on YouTube, and they'll also be in the podcast that we announced as part of that. During the GM prep session, we announced that we're doing a Greater Than Games, a GTG podcast, and the GTG podcast we'll start that sometime before the end of the month, probably, maybe soon.
The end of the month is like real soon, so.
No, sorry. End of the month. When I say end of the month, I mean July, because I'm already living in July. My goal is to have that out before Gen Con, and that will be a podcast. It's just the audio version of these things we're doing. It'll be an audio version of this, of the GM prep sessions, of other panels and stuff we do. We can put up all of our panels from Gen Con of last year, because we have all those in video form, and we'll be also doing that again this year. So it's just going to be a lot of the stuff that we create that is worth it in audio form. Like this game totally works in audio form because it's all theater of the mind stuff.
Yeah, there's not a lot of...
A live...
I made some hand motions sometimes.
Right, but a live playthrough of a game like Fate of the Elder Gods or Laser Riders, where like the stuff that's happening at the table is really important, is less likely to make it into the podcast because you need to be able to see the game state to really understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Spirit Island, same thing, yeah. But...
So we've just got two more, and
Sure.
the first one is actually specifically for Dynamo, or Greg, I suppose, which is, what were you doing during the Oblivion event?
I think at that point, I was mostly hiding under bridges, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I was like, I was super disconnected from all of that. Like, I was just doing my best, like, basically living hand to mouth and helping the people on the ground that I could. I was, very basic existence.
But you were helping people out.
Yeah,
you were helping.
absolutely.
You were helping the people in the streets.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just known kind of in the area as like, if you need a safe place to stay for a night or something, go find this guy or something like that.
Were you known as the nutty old professor?
No.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
That would be
Never.
ridiculous. I'm pretty young. I'm like mid-30s.
Oh, okay. That is
And so
pretty
is my
young.
character.
That is pretty young. All right.
And finally, in the initial section of the podcast, we had a long discussion about what is and isn't pie. And so I wanted to get your opinions on what is and isn't pie. Are savory things pie? Does it require a crust on top?
I think it requires a crust on the bottom.
It requires
that's
it requires a crust
Yeah,
of some
yeah.
sort. It has to have a crust to have a pie. It has to have a pastry
Right.
element to have a pie, to be a
You
pie.
can't just do a top crust. It has to be underneath, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
sure.
has to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But yeah,
sliceable.
you can have a savory pie. Absolutely.
Has
You
to
can
be
have a sweet
sliceable?
pie.
I don't know about that.
Well,
So
I mean, like, even a small pie is still
Every- yeah, every
sliceable.
pie-
It has to have the
like
base.
a pot pie is definitely sliceable.
Yeah.
Okay, but it doesn't like
It's
come out
juicy,
in a.
like, but it's
Yeah.
it's no more juicy than say like a cherry pie.
Right.
Okay.
And finally, I thought I was done,
but there's one more.
snuck in.
Yeah.
What was the line for the genie?
Oh yeah, we gotta know. We gotta
Lost to
know. That's true. That's a good
posterity.
point. So we're gonna rewind time. The genie is down to a D4. She hit it real hard and dropped it to a D4.
Yeah.
Dynamo, you make your swing. You just do a regular basic attack. You've got a 3, a 4, and a 6. A 4 is your mid die.
I hope you're not feeling too put out. Because it's a fire.
Oh, nice. That's not bad.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's not that great, but you know.
It's not great. I had a line. I didn't say it was great.
And you know what? I loved it. It was great.
It was a superhero line, is what it was.
Sure.
Yeah.
They keep on sneaking in last questions.
Okay, this is
Yeah.
the last one for real. Even if they ask
Okay.
more, I will not answer any more after this one.
And it is appropriately ridiculous.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Oh, good.
He wants, or he, she,
Who?
I don't actually know the
What are
gender.
the names? Actually, in
They-
general, I want the names of these people because I want to know who's
Sure,
asking these
sure.
questions.
Bishop 83.
Okay, Bishop 83, what's your question?
What happened to Blood's top hat?
Oh, yes. So
Oh.
Citizen Blood wears a top hat,
Yeah.
but Stygian does not.
No, yeah, if you didn't know who those were, those.
Yes,
Blood,
so
Sweat,
the
and Tears.
Vandals were Citizen's Blood, Citizen's Sweat, and Citizen's Tears
Yeah.
from Sentinels of the Multiverse. They are
Yeah,
members
it's
of Citizen Dom's
Stygian,
Citizens of the Sun.
Inductor and Tear.
And I love that Citizen Tears just became Tears. Like, we need new names. I just take the S off.
Yeah,
It's fine.
and I'll just say it different.
Tear.
Same word.
So
Who
is
cares?
your name Tear? No, it's Tear.
It's Tear.
It's Tear.
Yeah.
And this is the way Citizen Blood talks. All right, maybe not, but Stygian, yes. I do magic.
Oh my God.
I hate that.
My name is
so
Heathcliff
much.
Wolverhampton.
I can't wait to punch him in the face
Wait, you must.
soon.
And that seems to be it.
Thank you so much, Chris. And thank you, everybody in the chat, for being here. It was great to be able to do this. For all of you, I hope you guys had a fun time. I sure did. I want to, here at the end, Maggie, for you, here's the Impossum card.
Thank
That's
you.
yours. And Adam, for you,
Yeah.
the Pepper
I'm
Genie.
rewarded.
The Pepper Genie.
It's framed.
The
Put in my
Pepper
office.
Genie. Because I know how much you love.
Yeah.
The Pepper
Well,
Genie.
I loved him enough to make him ponder the very nature of existence.
Right, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
He still has the -3 on there forever.
Yeah.
It's persistent, even though the
Forever.
pepper, it persists longer than the Pepper Genie does. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Bye.
Hi.